I lost you.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Tim Poole. This is TimcastIRL podcast. I am joined by
Adam Krigler. What's up, everybody?
And
how's it going?
The Invisible Lady. I'm Lydia.
the Invisible Lydia.
Yes.
Boy, do we have a show for you today.
Oh my, yes we do.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, actually. It's a crazy Monday. You ever hear of a thing called the MeToo movement? It's getting torn up from the floor up.
Yep.
So a couple of the co-founders are fighting right now. Alyssa Milano has exposed herself as, and I'm quoting here, corrupt DNC fraud. So, you know, we'll get to it. Yep. We got a bunch of other stories too. We got to talk about something serious, man. And this is going to be really offensive, and I don't care. Do you guys care about being offensive?
No, I speak my mind.
We're going to rag on feminists. Intersectional feminists is a difference.
Okay.
See, for the longest time, they've been touting all this body positivity stuff. You know who's at risk to die from the coronavirus?
Overweight.
Overweight people.
Yeah.
That's
not surprising.
Yeah, and like in one of the Veritas videos, they're talking to a nurse, and she's like, it's obese people, people with diabetes, people with lung issues, and it's like, there it is, man. So for the longest time, they've been saying, like, you can eat whatever you want, you can be fat and happy and beautiful, and it's like...
Until a global pandemic comes.
And then they start dying.
You have no immune system for it.
It's not that, it's that you can't breathe. It's a breathing issue, it's a circulation issue.
Right. Oxygen going through your blood. If
Yep.
your bloodstream is clogged,
But if your bloodstream is
you're not getting a lot of
exactly.
oxygen through anyway, let alone putting any sort of tax on your lungs. It kind of amplifies the effect.
So we'll talk about that stuff. We've got the rat apocalypse is coming, man. We'll see what we can get to.
I know.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, so
I
now
don't want to laugh because
dude,
it's serious.
remember we talked about the monkeys
Yeah.
in Thailand
Yeah.
Same thing.
fighting in the streets because there's no food anymore.
Yep. Here it is.
Well, the rats are doing the same thing now.
The rats
People are getting
coming.
scared.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a really, really serious one too. YouTube is purging everybody. So
Yep.
that'll probably be the second one after we get to this breaking news bit. But YouTube purged Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change, gone out of the partner program. Ariel Scarcella, who was a guest on the show, gone.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see how long we last.
Yeah.
'Cause Ariel was a guest on this show.
Yeah, she was.
And then like a week
One of
later,
our
they're
first.
like, remove her.
Yeah.
Not
No,
gonna
that just happened last week, right?
That wasn't
Yeah.
too long ago.
Yeah, it just happened. She just got
Right.
It
She
was
on
like
the
a month ago, right? A month and
Yeah,
a half
but you know
now?
what I mean.
Yeah, relatively, I
Yeah,
guess.
it depends on which
Sure.
which news cycle you're following. It feels like it's been 20 years.
I know. Yeah.
But we do have a bunch of stories we'll go through. But before we get started, hop in the super chat if you would like us to read your comments. We'll do our best. When we start getting too many viewers, then it gets harder and harder. But make sure to subscribe, hit the like button. We do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. live. And how about we just start talking about Rose McGowan, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Sounds great.
So a long time ago, Donald Trump he was in like a bus or something, right? And he said that when you're famous, women let you grab them by the, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Everybody was yelling. They were like, we cannot have, the president saying these things. And to this day, they still use that against him and they
Yeah.
mock him. Well, there's been an accusation against Joe Biden for a while. Joe Biden, as many of you know, is probably going to be the Democratic primary, nominee. He's going to win. Well, he's not going to win the general. But apparently there's a story where a woman named Tara Reid was working in his office in the 90s. Joe Biden actually grabbed her, pushed her up against the wall, and then followed through
Yeah.
on what Donald Trump had said and grabbed her by
and
the...
some more, supposedly,
and
right?
then some.
Went up in there. If
He
you know,
went
sorry for not
above
being
and beyond.
family friendly. Above and beyond.
Yeah,
So
he
Just
was-
simply grabbing.
Yes.
He
we
went
try
all
to
in
keep
there.
things family friendly, considering we just talked about YouTube purging everybody. So we fight within the limits we can,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But Alyssa Milano has just come out in Joe Biden's defense, touting the importance of due process, which is ridiculous.
Agreed.
Considering she was dressed up like a Handmaid's Tale woman, for
For the Kavanaugh
protesting the Kavanaugh thing.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying zero tolerance. But here's where the story gets crazy, because that's kind of big news. She did an interview, I think it was with Andy Cohen, and she was like, well, here's the thing. We must believe women, but men deserve due process. And it's like, oh, dude,
Oh,
spare me.
thanks.
Oh, now they do.
Thanks. Now. Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets crazy, though.
Jeez.
Rose McGowan, who is considered like another high-profile leader of the MeToo movement,
Okay.
has just come out and called her, like, just in the past, like, hour or whatever,
Yeah.
a corrupt DNC fraud. Woo, that's crazy.
It's true. I feel
Yeah,
because
man, yeah.
Biden is kind of gross and gropey. Like
Yeah, totally.
It's like you can't even hide it. It's like every time he's in the presence of a woman, he's
Or a
sniffing her
girl.
hair or grabbing her arm or.
He had to apologize for it.
And their face is always like, ugh, get away from me, old creepy guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
It's funny that
What?
he's so much worse than Trump in that regard, but she's defending him.
I don't get it.
But it gets crazier. So this is the big breaking news, but you remember Asia Argento, whatever her name was?
No.
Yeah. Also
She was another like leader, Asia Argento.
Okay.
She was another Me Too movement leader.
She's got cool tats.
She was accused, and she paid out a settlement to this young dude that she was abusing when he was underage.
Oh.
So now you have like complete hypocrisy at the highest level.
She was a Me Too leader who abused a kid?
Yup.
Yeah.
Gross.
It's almost like they're all hypocrites.
It's almost
messed
like,
up.
look at
Isn't that
this.
Oh my
weird?
gosh.
Look what Alyssa Milano says. She tweeted this. There is something to the idea that people are going to weaponize Me Too for political gain. Just look at the replies here and look to see who those accounts are supporting in the primary. There always needs to be a thorough vetting of accusations.
Wow.
Talk about
Hypocrite.
disgusting, vile,
What?
evil, manipulative, con artist. Wow. How else do you describe that? What's the end goal of being such a vile slime bag? And I don't really insult people, but I'm going for the emotional reaction here, man.
Why is Alyssa Milano known for anything anyway?
She's a famous actress. Right?
From what?
She's so
I don't think I've
no,
seen anything.
you're
with
making
her.
a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm just. Hey, this is me.
Charmed.
I don't know who she is. I
Charmed.
never watched anything with her in it.
Wasn't she
What's
like,
Charmed? I don't know what that is. Some witch show? Yeah, I never watched that.
you know what it is?
Yeah, I never watched it though. But I didn't know that she was one of the ones on it.
Wasn't she on some show in the 80s when she was a little kid?
I have no idea.
See, no, this is
Sorry.
it's a mistake to say, oh, I don't know who she is, because she's still working actively in Hollywood.
I'm just
What
making a
was the
point.
last
I'm just
thing-
curious. I
But-
don't know who she is. Like why?
She's a celebrity, and she's got a ton of
Okay.
followers,
Yeah.
and she's a
That's
high-profile
too many.
activist.
And she's a fair weather activist. It seems.
No, that's not fair.
No? It's
Fair
not?
weather activists at least get up sometimes for the cause.
Okay.
What she's doing is manipulating people for political brownie points.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Check this out. So Rose McGowan, I think we'll just pull up the tweet from
Yeah,
Rose.
here.
You are a fraud. This is about holding. Oh wait. What is this? Oh yeah. Wow,
That's it.
amazing. So
Harsh
let's
words.
just pull the tweet straight up. I had the story, but we'll pull up the tweet.
Yeah, man.
I have respect for Rose. She says, in response to Alyssa Milano saying, I explained my silence on the allegations against Joe Biden, she goes, you are a fraud. This is about holding the media accountable. You go after Trump and Kavanaugh saying believe victims. You are a lie. You have always been a lie. The corrupt DNC is in on the smear job of Tara Reid. So are you, Sham. Ooh, bravo. Oh, Rose McGowan.
She is being consistent. I was just watching an interview of her from when the whole Me Too thing started, and she was not on good terms with Alyssa then. She literally said, you are
Wow.
a lie. She's a
Wow.
lie. Yeah.
She's called her out before.
Yeah, she has.
During the Kavanaugh thing, she
yeah,
was doing
I think
it.
it was closer to the time that was going on.
She's like, yeah, you're getting fame from this, and that's all you care about.
And,
Wow.
and
You
Rose was
false
like,
flag.
actually invested it.
I'm impressed.
Dang.
Yeah.
I dig it.
She burned
I
her.
appreciate that.
Let's see if we can
Nailed her.
People are responding. Look at this tweet. Someone tweeted this at her. Zero tolerance. If we don't hold. Oh no, I think this might be a fake tweet.
Yep.
Zero.
Ooh.
Well, so here's what they're purporting. She tweeted, "Zero tolerance. If we don't hold all accountable for horrible behavior, nothing changes. Sorry, Al Franken. You should not be in a position to represent the female constituents in your state." That might be real. I don't know.
Let me see if I can check. I can look.
Yeah,
I'm
because
curious.
someone said I fixed it. Me too. And I don't know if this is different or whatever. But a bunch of people have been highlighting past tweets she made. She's saying it's a smear. Oh, it's a conspiracy.
Of course it is.
What's her tag? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alyssa Milano believes it's a conspiracy to smear the campaign.
Probably a Russian
Is that what it is?
conspiracy. Yeah.
Is that what? Yes. And Warren not endorsing Bernie when their policies line up to me means she was telling the truth about what he said. Oh, you know what, man?
Ugh.
She said, "I believe women. It is my opinion that you can't conflate the violent criminal assault described by Dr. Ford and an uncomfortable invasion of personal space and boundaries described by Flores. These two things aren't the same no matter how hard your network tries to spin it." You know what the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh were?
What?
That when he was a teenager at a party, he threw a young woman on the bed and him and his buddy jumped on top of her and then she ran away.
Oh.
She said he held her down. I don't know. And then his buddy jumped on him. They rolled over and she got up and ran off. No witness corroborated it.
Okay.
Her friend said, "I don't remember what you're talking about."
Okay.
She didn't know where it happened. It was 36 years ago or something.
Okay.
She didn't know how she got there. She didn't know where it was. She didn't know how she got home. And no one corroborated anything. And not only that, but Christine Blasey Ford, I'm going to say it, she lied. She said that, and already I know that there's much people who on the left are triggered listening to this. Yeah, well, she said she was afraid to fly following this stuff.
Okay.
And then someone asked her, like, don't you fly all the time for work? And she goes, yes. It's like, wait, what?
Wait a second.
She claimed that she got like a second door installed in her house because she's terrified now. She was traumatized. It's like, dude, you're
Wait,
50.
now?
She's running a
36 years
business.
later, she's now traumatized, or she's
Yeah,
always
been, I guess. And then someone else came out and said that the reason she got the door installed in her house was because she was Airbnb-ing it.
Well, she was running her business out
Right.
of the other side of her house.
Yeah.
It's
Like the whole
nonsense.
thing was just
Counseling.
fraud. And guess what? You end up with this woman. Check out these photos. This is from Robbie Starbuck. He tweeted, this is the same Alyssa Milano who told you to believe women. She used assault allegations as a weapon against political opponents with zero evidence. Now she won't drop her endorsement of Joe Biden after he was credibly accused, I love that, by his former staff of assault. Look at this. She dresses like, The Handmaid's Tale. It's, so stupid.
See,
Dress
now
up.
the reason I brought up who is this person, it's not because of like, is she someone that we can listen to? It's like anyone can be if they have the right opinion. But I see her doing this kind of stuff, and it's a publicity stunt.
Totally.
That's what I'm
Yep.
aiming at. You know,
Boom.
it's like,
Yeah.
so that's what it is. It's like she had her chance to get in the light, and everyone was making memes of her sitting behind, like, in the courtroom.
Yep.
And I don't remember. She had like a paper holding up. They put different things on the paper or whatever. It's just like people were talking about her.
Spotlight.
3.69 million followers.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
crazy.
Follow me.
Raising her profile.
Yep.
So she can get access.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's not going to be an A-lister, because this is poison.
Yeah.
Movies are going to
Oh,
look
no.
at. I mean, they've danced around it. They've tried doing some of this stuff.
Yeah. If she wanted to act, she could probably get a job in like
She is acting.
a C-list horror film,
No,
Yeah.
she's doing like Netflix and Amazon
like
stuff.
House on the Haunted Hill 8.
No. She's doing legit stuff.
Maybe if that.
Sure.
She's doing legit stuff.
What was
Oh.
what was the last movie she was in?
Want
That's
to pull
what I
up?
was
Want to pull up her
wanting
IMDb?
Yeah, let's do
to
it.
ask. I'm just
You-
curious.
it's a mistake to go down this route to try and argue that.
Well, I just don't
like
know.
she's a D-list or
what-
something.
what was
No.
the last
She's
thing
not-
she
All I was
Yeah.
saying is that this seems like everything that I see about her is a publicity stunt.
Of
I just
course.
want more attention.
Yeah.
Why would she go for Biden right now? Makes absolutely no sense. Other than look how many people are talking about her again.
She's on a TV
Right?
series
Yeah.
from 2018 to 2019 called Insatiable. Imaginary Lines 2020. She's in post production on 2 projects. She's in a miniseries. So,
Sure.
You did a little
but
stuff
it's
here
not
and
even
there.
an argument. It's not an argument to be like you're a washed up actress. I don't like that
It
argument.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
I'm
still a
not even
person,
saying that
yeah.
whether she's washed up or not. I mean, I can honestly say I've never watched any of these things that she's been in.
But still, she has all this influence.
She's been in
I
a
guess
ton of
so.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, she was in.
reading
Hold
them.
on. No, you were wrong. You've
What?
never seen
What?
Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2?
No.
She was
have
the
not.
voice of Bimini
Oh.
in Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I remember now.
That's
Yeah.
where I know
That's
her
where I
from.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right.
She was what else? She was in
All right,
Ghostbusters, the video
Tim,
game.
You're right.
Nope.
I take
She
it
was
all
in.
back.
She was in
I
My Name Is
don't.
Earl.
I take nothing back.
She was?
Yeah, My Name Is Earl.
I actually used to like that show.
I think Charmed was like the biggest thing she did in recent history, but she was on Spin City. She was in Melrose Place briefly. She did a bunch of Melrose Place. Didn't she do like a big show? There we go. Yeah, Who's the Boss? There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was Shmalantha.
Schmalantha?
Yeah,
Shmalantha?
Shmalantha.
Is that how they pronounced it?
No, that's
or-
how Rick and Morty pronounced it.
Oh, okay.
Schmalangela? Schmalanthony? So yeah, a lot of people have they try to do like an emotional attack against her,
Yeah.
and it actually empowers her side. Because when you attack someone based on something that's nothing to do with anything,
It's like, you're proving my point.
no,
Yeah.
it's just the people like like look, the tribalists are never going to give up their position no matter what.
Okay.
But if there's a regular person who doesn't know, and they see her saying something like this man was accused, and then you go, you're just a washed up actress, then immediately you've lost.
Right.
You've left the argument. You're not talking about what she's doing.
Right.
Okay.
You're just trying to call her a stupid dum-dum head.
You're not addressing.
That's all it is. You might as well call her a poo-poo face.
Yeah. Well,
Meaningless.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, let's talk about what she really is.
That's funny.
Now, in the context of her trying to raise her profile, I think it's fair to bring up that the projects she's done are not A-list.
Okay.
You know, the stuff she's
Yeah.
been doing as of late, it's like Netflix and Amazon stuff. So it's not like, I mean, hey, man, I'd love to be on
It's work.
Netflix or
Work's
Amazon.
work.
Well, no, I mean, getting on like a Netflix show, that's
Yeah,
not bad,
pretty cool.
right? A lot of people.
Hint. Netflix.
Netflix,
Heyo.
hello.
Hit them up.
No, but it's clear that she's going for some kind of publicity. Look at her Twitter picture. It's her doing activism. Never Kavanaugh, resist.
Aw.
But she is. This to me should be proof to anyone. Her mission has nothing to do with helping women, helping people, fighting for a cause. It's not even about fighting for the DNC. It's about just shilling for the biggest opportunity. So she wants to pony up to the wealthy elites, the corporatists, the establishment. Anybody who thinks Joe Biden is a viable candidate is lying.
Yep.
Period.
Oh,
Period.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, for
This,
sure.
and this is why, you know, we can actually use it to segue into how they're starting to purge other YouTube channels. This is why they don't like it, because the establishment, the big businesses that love propping up people like, you know, Joe Biden, that's what they're for, or that's what they want. YouTubers, podcasters, you'll notice, have no problem saying Joe Biden. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, look at Joe Rogan the other day.
Yeah.
You saw what he said.
Yep.
And now there's articles coming out. Joe Rogan's the canary in the coal mine. He embodies Bernie or bust. He says, a couple months ago, I'd probably vote for Bernie. Now today's like, I'd rather vote for Trump because Bernie's out, right?
Yeah, this is what's happening with Bernie people.
Is Bernie officially out?
No, but
He won't.
Yeah, I didn't think.
He
the
won't
establishment's
quit.
not going to
Yeah,
let Bernie. What's he going to do? No, I mean, look, man, I got my issues with Bernie's policies. We can have a debate over his policies.
Yeah.
I think he's flip-flopped on certain things, but the dude can speak English.
True.
That's all that matters. I mean,
And clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point.
It's
do
understandable.
you see? You saw what Trump said about Biden? You know, on Saturday or whatever.
Yeah, that was funny.
So for those that don't know, at the press briefing, he was asked, you know, Joe Biden tweeted this about you. And he goes, Joe Biden didn't tweet anything about me. He didn't write that. A Democratic operative wrote that. He's not even watching this right now. And even if he was, he wouldn't understand it.
Supposedly they had a long talk today.
They did, yeah.
About Biden giving his expertly vice president advice to Trump, which is an interesting way that they're spinning it.
You know what I
That's
imagine
way to put
happening?
it.
I imagine like the phone rings and Trump answers and Joe's like, hello. And Trump's like, how's it going? And then Joe starts muttering. He's like, you know, Donald, the thing with, you know, we have the case and dependency with the shortages, and Trump just puts the phone down and then just like starts like
Does other
starts
stuff.
playing on his phone.
Starts sending
tweeting.
tweets out.
Yep. And then Joe's just saying like, see, Joe's saying words
Right.
that don't mean anything when you combine them.
Right.
So it's like,
That's called word
but
salad.
no. Actually, he said sakes.
Sakes?
Sakes. What does that mean?
I don't
For
know.
Pete's sakes? I
No,
don't know. It's
no.
like
He
a-
said, we will never let America sakes second fiddle.
He mixed two words.
What?
Yeah, like second and takes. I don't know.
No, but he said second.
I don't know.
Was he? If he was going to say take, why is there an S at the end of it? I don't know. Anyway, back to the main point, and we can move on to like the YouTube stuff.
I don't know.
Think about how insane that all sounds. Any honest person will tell you, like, even somebody who doesn't like Trump, like you look at these progressive personalities, people like, you know, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske, they do not like Trump. And that there's a reason why they're for Bernie. They're like, any honest person is going to look at Biden and be like, what?
You want him to lead us?
You want to put him next to
What?
Trump on a stage?
Yeah.
What are you making, a sideshow?
A
I'll
side
pay to
dish.
see that.
I honestly
$5.
would it would be entertaining to
It would.
watch that.
Yeah. Like
No,
a
it's
fight.
elder abuse.
Yeah, that's.
I agree. I
didn't
agree.
put him up there.
Exactly. I'm not the one saying Biden, you should run for president.
Oh, poor
I don't know
Joe.
who is telling him,
I
but
know. He needs new
Trump versus
advisors.
Biden would be.
It's Melissa Milano endorsing him even after he was accused. Look, we can feel bad for him as a doting old, you know. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
avoid
feel
saying
bad
medical
for him.
terms.
He's doing it. He's running himself.
I don't
He
know.
still has the choice to run or not. He's still a human that's alive, I think.
As far as I can tell.
Look, man, the guy can't speak.
I can barely tell that he is alive still.
I don't think he's
It's like
cognizant.
Weekend
like,
at Bernie's, but
right.
Weekend at
Weekend at
Biden's.
Joe's.
Yeah, dude,
Weekend
it's
at
totally
Biden's.
Weekend at
Yeah, I like
Biden's.
that. It sure
He-
is.
he's being propped up by the establishment.
Literally.
If the next time we see him he has dark shades on, yo.
Yeah.
Dude,
Time has come.
part of me thinks that like every time he goes on the air, there's like some young DNC people like laughing, like, did you hear what he just said? Like, get him to say it again. Get him to say it again. Joe, say this. And Joe's just like, and they're like laughing like it's a joke. Like there can't be any. Look, he's got people working for him, right?
Yeah.
They have to know his mind is jello, right?
They have to.
What does she think? Like, oh, he's he's an old guy. Like we got to give
I bet
the
she got paid.
due process. Do you think they paid her off?
I-
Like,
I-
oh, you know what? We can
No,
get to
no.
her and have her like back him up so that she'll bring the whole MeToo movement to like not, bring this whole thing to like a big thing that ruins Biden's chances.
I'd like to.
Huh?
I'd like to accuse her,
Conspiracy.
I guess, but I have no proof. So without evidence, I will not. I'll just say that I don't think there's any sane person on the planet who thinks she's being honest. And this is what this is why Trump's approval rating goes up, because you see people like her, and you're like, dude, you can't. You like, come on, man. If you want to lie, come up with a better lie than that.
Yeah, seriously.
She's like, the sky is green, and you're like, it's not.
It's not,
She's like,
though.
it is. It's not green.
No.
I can see it.
Like 7 months ago, you were telling me it was blue, and it's still blue.
This is what the craziest thing is to me. There have been several instances where the media has done things like this. They repeatedly come out and say, you know, Trump's response to the COVID outbreak is terrible, and he's doing really bad. And I'm like, the polls show that most Americans like this.
Right.
You coming out and telling them to their face that, no, it's actually really bad, is not going to change their minds. It's going to make them not trust you because they've already made up their minds. And they were asked about it, and they said they like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the way I described it before is like, imagine you have this really delicious slice of pizza.
Oh, the pizza analogy.
And you're like, this is so delicious. Yes. And Alyssa Milano goes, it's actually not delicious.
Oh, here.
Like,
I'll be the news. You be you eating pizza.
I am eating this pizza.
Hello, Tim. Do you like your pizza?
I absolutely love it.
This just in. Tim does not like his pizza at all.
Exactly.
No,
Pizza is bad for you.
You gotta falsely frame it.
Wait.
You've got to be like,
just right.
Fact check. Did Tim actually say he liked his pizza cold? No. And then you do this really long-winded speech about
that's
how
if you're
proper
Snopes.
pizza.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going for the whole
different,
media where they just like, I'm just gonna give him what we want them to give. He hates pizza.
Yes.
Opinion. And then at the end say,
Opinion.
well, he does like pizza. There's no evidence to suggest he likes all pizza all the time everywhere. Therefore, it's improper to say he likes pizza.
Or that he loves pizza.
Or he loves pizza.
I don't know.
Oh.
You know what, man?
For those wondering, he actually really likes pizza.
He does, yes.
I do like pizza.
Gonna
no fake news here.
it's like-
squash that, you know.
It's just
pizza's really yummy.
Everybody likes pizza.
Everybody likes
You could take
that's
bread and
true.
put sauce and put anything on it, and you're like, it's pretty good.
Pizza.
It's
Yeah.
not bad.
And then you take two of them, you put it together, and you have a sandwich.
Yeah, man.
But who do you think Alyssa Milano is like? Do you think there are people in this country that are sitting there and she comes out and says Joe Biden's going to be a great president, and they're like, wow, that's a good point.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Right. Who are why should I hear what you have to say about this? Because, you know, the whole thing is that she was in such a prominent place for the Me Too movement, and now it's almost like she's throwing that all out of the window just to endorse Biden.
I don't think she is. I think this is a really clever publicity stunt.
Yeah, publicity
like, for
stunt.
example, right now, we are talking about her.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
That's
man,
what the first thing I said.
She's
It's
like nailing this publicity
It's
thing.
like, and who's talking about her? Everybody.
When I
Yeah.
think of her, I don't think of like some like angelic visage coming down from the heavens with a beacon of light. I see that old lady from Princess Bride going, boo!
Yes.
Joe Biden for president! And I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know, man.
She's pretty cringy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this brings me to the next point. We'll get the super chats, but the next thing we're going to talk about is you know what I find? Why is that when Joe Biden comes out in the media and he goes, the thing about the president and you know, with COVID, we got to get the cars because the shortage. When he says stuff like that and you're like, what? The media corrects him like without correct. So what they'll do is he'll mutter and mumble, and then the headline will say, Joe Biden calls for swift action on coronavirus. You're like, no, he didn't.
He said something about driving cars during the crisis. Like,
right.
what?
But driving a car is about moving quickly. So, but look at the headlines when they write about Biden. Mm-hmm. He'll go on MSNBC or The View or something. He'll just incoherently mumble, and then they'll write this puff piece explaining what they think he was actually saying.
That's a good point, because I'll read the headline and I'm like,
that's not what he said.
I don't remember Joe saying that. Am I getting dementia? What's going on here? I don't like this.
But think
Anti-dementia.
about this. If they start getting rid of channels like this one, getting rid of people like Luke and many other people they've gotten rid of.
Yeah.
How long until
they control the narrative again, like the old days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When everyone just watched the 3 different news channels.
Yeah, dude.
And all someone had to do is call all 3 channels and be like, this is what you're reporting now.
Yep.
And then they were like, hey, American public, we're trustworthy. This is what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
So let's jump to the super chats.
Scary.
And then the next thing we'll get to
that.
is they're purging a bunch of YouTubers. And
Right.
it's getting to that point where it's actually getting pretty scary.
Agreed.
Jim Watari says, I need 2 hours of distraction. Well, here you go,
Here
sir.
we are.
You've got it.
Boom.
Yes.
Dark Ranch said, good afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. What is the secret that you use to power the beanies? Battery and car batteries and jumper cables.
Oh, man. Seems uncomfortable.
Redbeard says, YouTube has been promoting a lot of your old videos on my app lately, including a 12-year-old video of you skating in a warehouse. That's from my buddy Brett Novak.
Yeah.
It was actually 13 years ago because he uploaded it like later.
Right.
And my name's in it. So for some reason, they're promoting it like crazy. You know what it is? They blacklisted my channel.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
you
when they
can't
type your name in,
Yup.
that's popping up.
You can't Google search my channel. You can Google search this one because it's new. But Timcast and Timcast News don't even come up on Google. So when people start searching for Tim Pool, that's the video that comes up because they don't show. They do show my main channels and stuff though.
Oh, okay.
But this one, it's crazy because when the video when it was first put up, it was the early days of YouTube. It had like a few thousand views, and I think I'm like 18 in it, 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Now it's got almost 200,000.
Nice.
And it's not even a good like. It was a
It's
great.
pretty good.
I love
I watched
that
it.
video.
You got some clean tricks in it.
Nah,
Yeah, man.
well, for me, 20 years, 13 years later.
I could
Yeah.
still see your skating style. It's really crisp and clean though, and
really
it's,
I
it
could
hasn't,
film-
hasn't
Yeah.
changed.
I could film a such better video. That's why I'm
Let's
like,
do
everybody's
it.
watching this old
People
video.
are asking. I'm sure. Well, I don't know.
Well,
if
I
they
hit up
are.
Brett.
No. People have asked. You guys want it, right?
I'm waiting for Brett.
What? What? I made videos.
We're
bro.
gonna do
Come on.
when Brett when
Look at these
world
nice cameras. I'll borrow
world
one of these.
famous
True.
skate video producer Brett Novak.
I
is
got
free.
nothing on Brett. You're right.
Brett,
I got nothing on Brett. I don't know if you
For-
guys
for-
have seen his videos. They're amazing though.
he's
You should
probably
go check him out.
the best film cinematographer in skateboarding.
Yeah,
That's cool.
you're right.
Like,
yeah.
they're-
I don't know
they're-
anyone who does it like he does. Yeah.
There's a lot of good filmers for skateboarding.
Yeah.
But Brett makes like movies. Like one of the ones he did is time moves backwards, but the skateboarder moves forwards.
That one's amazing.
That was
So I hit him
cool.
up and I was like, bro, you got to come hang out. And we can have him hang out on the show or something.
Arbor Skateboards did some really cool videos. They're similar and shorter. You know, his are a little bit longer, and not all of them actually, but
Artsy
The
and
one
like-
that there's an Arbor Skateboards video of me in New York, and that was done by a
cool.
Canadian named Ali. I don't remember his last name, but he did a really good job on it, and it reminds me of Brett's videos. They're flowy. They feel like a story. It really
Yeah.
takes you into the environment, and
They're so neat.
it's
I love
it's
this
good.
stuff.
But you should check him out if you don't know Brett Novak. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, man.
he's great.
Yeah.
His channel is Bragic, Bragic. And I got a couple videos that too. I got a couple single trick videos on his short-sighted series.
Word.
Yeah. Daniel says Alyssa Milano exposed herself. That's hot.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
but
gonna
not in the
say.
good way, in the awful political way. So, All Metal Mike says Jan feds arrest C. Lieber, Harvard professor, nanosciences, and 2 Chinese nationals for lying. Harvard owns largest percentage of coronavirus nanotechnology patents. Possible they use nanotech to transmit the virus. I really, really doubt it. I would never put money on a bet for anything like that. However, there was this interaction recently from Trump where he asked a reporter if she worked for China, and she said she said she worked for a private company out of Hong Kong, and he says, was it owned by China? And she said no. And now a bunch of people are pointing out that the Hong Kong company's like principal, like one of the chief like officers,
Yeah.
used to be in the Chinese military.
Uh-huh.
Dude, there are a bunch
like-
of Chinese spies
Yeah,
that
it
are
sounds
like
like
sowing
it.
discord and messing around.
And they're in
so
the
the
press-
arrests are legit.
Press briefings now.
Apparently.
I guess.
Great.
These people are in on the take. Treason, man. Cad says if Boris dies from, I believe he meant dies from Corona leaked bioweapon in Britain, we'll have grounds to kick off World War III. Let the nuclear Armageddon begin. Well, I don't think it was a bioweapon. I think this is really funny. We're going to talk about YouTube. All right. YouTube straight up says you cannot say that coronavirus was made in a lab.
Really?
They'll demonetize you. The Washington Post and the Daily Mail both ran articles saying it's possible this originated in a lab with an accidental exposure due to a naturally occurring virus in bats. Accidentally got exposed. I talk about it. I get demonetized. I can't even read the mainstream news because YouTube is not news. So their staff are 2 weeks behind the mainstream media. I'm talking about mainstream news reports. They demonetize me.
Wow.
So
That's not fair.
YouTube's breaking its own rules. YouTube says you can't go against scientific consensus. Oh, well, then YouTube just went against it because I was reading the Washington Post. Yep, that's the game YouTube's playing right now.
Yeah.
And you'll get banned and they'll delete your account. You lose all your revenue and everything. Ceylon says, man, what will the UK be like if Boris dies? For those who don't know, Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, is in the ICU and we're all wishing him the best.
Yep.
11 Bravo says, Alyssa Milano, oh no, Mr. Bill. Left is insane says, today I lost my job, got in a car accident, and accidentally ate peanuts, which I'm allergic to, causing my throat to swell. Today was great.
Oh,
Whoa, are you
man,
in the hospital?
sorry,
You all right?
dude.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
we're here to make it
Sucks.
better.
Well, we're here to complain about a bunch of stuff, and hopefully
Yeah,
that's
we'll
some kind
distract you a little bit.
kind of catharsis.
Sorry, dude.
K98 says, the rent strike isn't entitlement, but righteous indignation at being told to eat cake. The landed aristocrats told them to suffer alone, unpatriotic. The rent strike thing is interesting because the way I see it is some landlords, sure, some rich people, sure, but most of these rental management companies in like New York are not massive, super rich people.
Right.
So like medium-sized businesses with, 20, 30 employees or something. Actually, that's a small business, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, my old apartment that I lived in New York before I left was a house that privately was owned by the original owner who moved down to Florida to retire, and she was just like this 78-year-old woman who was very nice, and we paid her direct. She couldn't afford that.
Well, here's the story. A company sent out an email to all of its tenants saying, this big thing about like here's where you can get help if you're hurting, if you lost your job, but you do have to pay rent while evictions are frozen for now. They will not be frozen indefinitely,
right?
And rent is due. And so they're all like going like, yeah, rent strike, because now we have everyone's email addresses and we can all come together. And I'm like, these people think that landlord isn't a job.
Right.
They move into a place for a year on a year lease and they move out. Who's gonna maintain that building for the 30 plus years of that mortgage? Who's gonna pay the mortgage, the taxes, the utilities, the groundskeeper, the manager, all that stuff,
right?
Groundskeeper. So what they're basically saying, I was like, imagine if a bunch of people showed up to a grocery store and said, food strike, and then just started taking food. It's like, I mean, you could, I get it.
Isn't that happening in San Francisco right now?
It's happening in New York. Sicily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sicily, right?
No, but I don't see
they don't have a choice.
Look, I understand that people need shelter, but if you're getting a stimulus package 4 months paid from the government, then how do you justify not paying rent?
Right.
I get it. People are hurting. Sense. Not everybody can, but I think regardless of what happens, I don't actually even care if they do the rent strike for the most part. And you shouldn't. I mean, you could if you want to. The important point is that it's happening. This is a first step in like the complete breakdown. They don't pay, then the rental management companies don't pay, then their employees get laid off, and their employees don't pay, and it is a ripple effect that just takes everything down with it.
Yeah, it's a precedent that I don't like to see.
Yep. Nikolai says, Tim, with the need to bring manufacturing of critical drugs and medical equipment back to the country, have you reevaluated Congress buying a bunch of extra M1 Abrams MBT to keep the last tank factory operational? I don't know. I would have to go over that. I think that has to do with like them building a bunch of tanks all the time.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Trump loves the military. He's buying a bunch of bullets and stuff. Let's see. What does it say? Alit0 says, if the hypothesis about the Wuhan fever leaking from the biolab turns out to be true, what do you think the world will demand from China? And do you think China would even comply with said demands? They would not. No. Apparently there was some story where, so an expert from Rutgers, this is what's really annoying, okay? YouTube, we're going to demonetize you if you say this. Yeah, okay, well, an expert from Rutgers, someone who specializes in infectious disease, said that Wuhan's lab was operating under a level 2 security instead of level 4, and that's why there in the past had been concerns about breaches.
Okay.
That's an expert from a major university talking to the Washington Post who said that YouTube punishes me because of it.
Like years ago, too.
What, years ago?
Yeah,
it happened a long time ago.
Yeah,
like 2017.
That's what I'm saying.
So the Washington Post gets a quote from a guy from a university. I say it, YouTube flags my video. Confirmed. Knocked down. YouTube, so stupid.
You should save it for the next
it's because...
segment.
Right. Let's see what we got here. Shinojima says, hey guys, love your work. Hope you all stay safe.
Thank
we
you.
are, because we're homebodies.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Redbeard says, do you think the Ohio State rep has learned the ICC has no jurisdiction over non-party states, i.e. the
I
U.S.?
bet she knows now.
Did you see what happened? A state rep from Ohio called for Trump to face the International Criminal Court in The Hague, which the U.S. doesn't recognize, and it has no jurisdiction. And she called for this because Trump said that hydroxychloroquine may work or may not work at a press conference. So she called for him to face the charges of crimes against humanity.
What?
Meanwhile, Andrew Cuomo is administering the treatment with moderate success and cheering
and being glorified.
And where is she?
Exactly.
What?
And here, get this thing.
That whole thing
Another
makes me nuts.
resistance Twitter guy said that Trump has already satisfied involuntary manslaughter, but is actually broaching grounds for second-degree murder.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that because of that Arizona couple?
Right.
So she actually succeeded in pitching off her husband's murder onto someone else.
No, we don't know that. We don't know that.
So we're not sure.
No, but
Yeah, I don't know.
here's how the game is played. They want clicks. They want likes. They want follows. So you
Yep.
got to up the ante.
Yeah.
So if someone comes out and says Trump should be charged for crimes against humanity, the next person can't say the same thing. They say, as a prosecutor,
Step up, yeah.
I think it's murder.
Glenn
That's
Hersher.
right.
Yep.
And it's like, are you kidding, dude?
Yeah.
You people are insane. George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Barack Obama. None of them have faced any charges for anything they did.
Right.
And you think the orange man will face charges because he recommended a drug that's actually already approved in this country for other uses,
Right.
is actually recommended in other countries, and has been approved by the FDA for emergency use. That's your grounds
It's
for
already being used. There's already a medicine out there that you
Yeah.
can use, but you have to get it from a doctor.
Yeah. Ooh,
Wow,
you
what a
can't take
surprise.
fish
Here's what-
medicine.
here's-
You can't
know-
just find it on the shelf.
This is what I love about politics, and I mean this not seriously.
Oh man.
Barack Obama's all like, they had a thing called Terror Tuesdays,
Okay.
where they would bring what was called the disposition matrix. They called it like baseball cards of terror, and he would choose who to kill. So, sure enough, one day they go on Tuesday to Mr. Barack Obama, and they're like, they lay out the folders. I don't know exactly what it was like, but, they give him the options. And he's like, yes, this person right here, I believe we should kill. And then he pointed out a civilian cafe in Yemen where his administration then blew it up, killing a 16-year-old American citizen named Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki. And there was not a single voice cried out that he should face. Well, I'm kidding. Tons of activists have been screeching about this for a long time.
Yeah.
But now, these Democrats, these establishment types are just, oh, but Trump recommended a medication the FDA approved. Lock him up. That's
Crimes against
politics today.
And where was that was it a small country that was
Yemen?
Yemen? Oh,
Yeah.
No, the girl from Ohio was trying to bring him up charges.
The Netherlands.
What
The
place?
Hague? Yeah.
Oh, Netherlands?
Yeah.
Was there
The Hague.
someone in Netherlands that took the medicine
It
or
has
something?
nothing to do with them.
Like,
It's
what is
because
it?
The Hague is the International Criminal Court,
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
okay.
but the
And
U.S.
it's
doesn't
there.
recognize it.
Oh, all
It has
right.
no jurisdiction here. It's like a European thing.
But the medicine's actually working though. That's
Well,
what I don't get.
the anecdotal positive results.
Okay.
And in China, it's being used. In various countries, it's being used. The CDC, it's all on the CDC's website.
Mm-hmm.
And this is grounds for Trump to be charged under the crimes against humanity statutes and then
So
murder
nutty.
charges. No, these people are literally insane.
I don't get it.
And these are the ones who are like, I'm voting for Biden. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that
you
makes sense.
are not well. But it's not the Bernie people. The Bernie people, for the most part, while they don't like Trump,
Right.
like, look at these people like they're lunatics.
Yeah.
And they are lunatics.
I agree.
Or they're liars and manipulators like Alyssa Milano.
Well, I don't know. Lunatics, are has something to do with the moon.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, isn't that a reference to like when the full moon comes out, they go crazy?
That's
It's-
true.
yeah.
Yeah. Lunatics.
The root word is
When the moon
Luna.
comes out,
Yeah.
police forces up the amount of police on
Yeah, it's the
duty.
same in a hospital.
But you know why, probably?
Same in hospitals.
Yeah.
It's probably because it's brighter out.
Aren't we made of water?
Yes, we are.
Doesn't the moon pull the entire ocean around when it swings around us? Don't you think it affects us
That
a little
was
bit?
I just
kind
think
of my
it's-
theory.
I just
yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
brighter out.
It pulls us.
That could
It
be
pulls
part
us a
of it.
little bit.
Brighter
dude.
out, you can see.
I think it pulls us a little
All
bit.
right, we're being
Pull-
levitated.
All right,
Pulls on
we
our.
got a little-
It pulls on your beanie a little. You got to
Yeah,
admit
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's true. Feel
All
distracted
right, let's
there.
get through some more of these. Zachary says, Kyle again. The H is for human. I'd like to present to you the Paradoxodon, a dinosaur that only exists when you don't believe in it. All right.
Very fun.
Chuck Morris says 7 big cats in the Brooklyn Zoo have SARS-CoV-2.
Oh, man.
Can we stop
7
a
now.
flu that all mammals have? Did we destroy the world economy for nothing?
Man, I don't know.
The Art of the Real says support for what you do. Appreciate it, good sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Silver Paradox says who's the boss? That's the show that she was on. Solitary Gamer says, do you see Crowder's call with the journo about the fish tank cleaner woman? Might be worth a vid. Ooh.
No, I didn't
Crowder,
see
Crowder,
that.
yeah.
Crowder
yeah.
called her.
Well,
Had a combo with her.
I don't know. A journalist, probably.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it sounds. But Crowder dug into this, and I think he might have even, broke the first hints of this, that it's being alleged, rumors, she was abusing her husband, tried to divorce him. Sure enough, he drinks poison and dies.
A lethal
Weird.
dose.
A lethal
Yeah,
dose.
Crazy.
So, and she was not a Trump fan. She had and this was covered by a bunch of other people. She had previously posted to Facebook that Trump was psycho. Why would she then think he's a psycho and then see him on the TV and be like, I will eat fish cleaner?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Don't eat fish cleaner. See, you know what,
Period.
man?
And what's the way women murder more than any other way?
It tends
Isn't
to be
it poison?
poisoning. It's suicide
Isn't
by
it
poison too. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
it is.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Another
for sure.
quick mystery.
Conspiracy.
All right, let's see what we got. Zevian says, accuse your enemy of what you are doing, as long as you are doing it to create confusion. Karl Marx. Was that Marx?
That was Rules for Radicals.
Yeah, that's not Marx. That's
Yeah, I think that's Saul Alinsky.
Saul Alinsky. Matthew Silber says, this Biden story reminds me of the Steven Crowder sketch called Biden Grabass. I didn't know Steven was a psychic. You didn't? He is.
I guess he is.
Couch says, have you looked into Nathan Rich? He's been talking about you in his YouTube videos. I don't know who that is, no. The Hylian Juggalo says, if you get Lawai on, ask about the black market for tech certs in China and India. As a CCNA, drives me mad. China's been doing it since the 90s. If you wonder where the get an A+ for family stereotype comes from, here it is. Well, will do. Student of History says, I'm on the side of Rose McGowan. This is weird, bro.
I know, right?
Right, seriously.
So weird.
Also, I'm surprised someone hasn't had a strongly worded conversation with Joe Biden between the small children sniffing and then Ash Carter's wife. They did. He apologized. He did a public statement where he's like,
weird.
It's old days and the things I used to do, and I'll do better this time. And they're like, good. And then he gets up on stage, grabs someone's shoulders, and goes, and it's like, didn't
Old
they just tell you?
die hard.
He's gross.
He's nasty, man.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
He makes me uncomfortable, and he's not grabbing me.
Donald Trump doesn't make me comfortable.
I feel bad for all those girls.
When I hear the allegations against Trump, I'm like, grab him, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah. Joe Biden is accused of actually doing it.
And
You know
on
what I mean?
camera.
He just does it all the time. He's grabbing the
time.
Oh, what a
There's a girl here. Hey,
Let
wait.
me grab
Why?
her.
Hold on.
you're a pretty girl.
How come the
like,
dad,
ugh.
when he like goes for a little girl,
Yes.
like smack the guy?
Yeah, yo, stiff
And-
arm you, president. I don't care.
Seriously.
Like, listen, I'm talking about self-defense for your child when a creepy old man tries grabbing her and sniffing her and
Yeah.
stroking. Like, no.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Like, how do you not instantly go, red flag in my head? You're touching my daughter in a weird way.
Creepy
Get off
dude.
my daughter.
Man.
Seriously.
No.
All right, what do we got here? Katie Bell says, why would Americans listen to people who get paid to pretend to be something they are not?
Fair
I mean, they're
point.
the epitome of fakers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Exalted says, hey, BeanieCast, have you seen the Astartes? It's an animated short series created by one guy here on YouTube. It's amazing and better than 99% of what comes out of Hollywood nowadays. Love what you do. Keep up the amazing work. Appreciate it.
I haven't.
Crash says, Tim, MeToo movement exposed as political sham. Me, shocked Pikachu face. No, not really. I was actually worried the title, people are going to see the title and be like, I already knew that. And just like keep scrolling. And I'm like, no, but what else do I say? You know? And I'm like, do people even know who Rose McGowan
It's
and
not
Milano
even
are?
necessarily the Me Too movement. It's Alyssa Milano in this situation.
But she
isn't
started it.
Oh, she started the whole
She
movement.
started the whole thing.
completely.
Yeah,
like
she helped
she's the
start
number.
it.
Yes.
Like patient zero.
She
if you will.
tweeted
Yes.
if every woman would tweet hashtag #MeToo, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
she started it.
She started everything.
Oh.
And
her
it
fault.
was a
So I guess it's a sham.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Mm.
Because now she's endorsing it. Yeah. She straight up went from like assault is bad to
Maybe it's okay.
it's okay if Joe Biden does it.
Yeah. Basically.
So it's like
Wait a second.
yeah.
That's all I'm seeing from all her tweets trying to explain it.
Here's an excellent one. Viva Celestia says, I wish Biden would sniff my hair. Yeah.
You get punched in the mouth.
David says, times like these that I like to think of the good old days when you were a bedroom journalist and had that sick outro music. Bring back the old music. We're working on new music.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Lots of new music's gonna be coming from this place.
The good old days. Yep.
Yeah.
Joey says, anyone else a little suspicious that the Who's director's sister is the managing director of the International Monetary Fund? I honestly don't find that suspicious.
I don't know anything about
You
it.
know, you know what Bilderberg is?
Sounds familiar.
It's like a convention of all these super rich people and like heads of state every year.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've always heard these explanations about how they're doing these nefarious things. And I'm like, it's really just birds of a feather flock together. It's a
Right.
convention for rich people who run stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they hang out. And it's like, I know they're probably talking about really awful things. And that's why a lot of these
Okay.
journalists show up and try and like film them and stuff. But it's not I don't think it's a conspiracy like there's a grand cabal that like, and we will meet and organize the world. It's like a bunch of people who run massive companies meet.
Yeah.
Same as you're into what you do, they're going to, there's problems with it for sure.
Okay.
Like heads of state meeting with billionaires and then like discussing candid things that the public can't know about. I'm not a fan of,
Good point.
But yeah, the WHO and the International Monetary Fund, I don't like the mixing of all this stuff, the revolving door, the nepotism. It's how the world's run. It's always been run that way. Drunk Shovel says, boycott China, do your bit, stay home, stay safe.
Nice.
Chuck Morris says, is Soy Jesus CGI? Just asking. He is actually. He is
Maybe.
a perfect computer rendering in real
Yep.
time.
I'm
Yeah.
actually upstairs playing video games right now.
Nicely done.
It's yeah.
This is all an illusion.
The first thing we had Adam do when he got here was read key sentences. Like you have to read 7 sentences so the computer can perfectly emulate his voice.
Yeah, and then I had to
then
wear
he's done.
that suit with all these white dots.
Yeah,
and I
it's
kept
cool.
moving around. I don't know, whatever.
That's
It was fun.
And he was like, so you mean to tell me I have to do no work? We just do this one time and you play video games and the computer just is you.
Yeah,
boom.
Dream
great.
job,
There
baby.
it is.
Right? I
Yeah,
got the
man.
best job ever.
Michael Hendrick says, I added you and Lydia on Twitter. Not sure if you saw it. This guy on YouTube is smearing you, calling you a liar, and that you were a conspiracy theorist. It's actually quite funny. I mean, I don't know why people send me this stuff, to be honest. Like, I'm no disrespect to people who do, but I've got 710,000 followers, subscribers on my main channel.
Yeah.
We've got almost 200 on this one. I've got 600 on my other one. Subverse has another 160. I get this every day, like times 100.
Yeah.
I
know,
enjoy reading them.
People are
I
like,
got
dude, you
people
see this
hitting
guy
me
made a
up like,
video?
Yeah.
man, yo, you should
Show
tell
Tim
Tim
this.
that this is
Well,
happening. And I'm
maybe.
like, he knows.
Yeah, he
I
probably
don't know, I
already
just ignore
knows.
it.
And if he
Yeah.
doesn't know, he doesn't care.
So, I get people who I know who are also like decently sized YouTubers will be like, yo, bro, like you see what's going on? And I'm like, dude,
Yes.
I told you I don't check my notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ignore it. I don't care. The crazy thing is a lot of people get really bent out of shape on Twitter when they're
Yeah.
like, people are saying mean things about me. It's like,
Yeah.
if you turn it off, it goes away.
I know. It's
gone.
nice.
Yeah.
Just poof.
It's nice.
I know, but look at society, though. It's not to say that you're wrong, because I agree with you. There is an essence of turning it off in like real life, and I don't have to know about that. But society now, we are in this online world, so like your online persona is now a part of you that
Sure.
actually affects people a lot more nowadays.
Could you-
especially when they don't have like your strength of character that you have, you're going to be you, it's like, that's how I feel. I am too. Like, I know I'm going to be me. I'm not going to, people can call me, I don't know if Soy Jesus was a joke to try to make fun of me or what it was, but it's like, it's great. Like, whatever. I think it's hilarious,
Right.
but
Could you imagine if Alyssa Milano did like a response video?
yeah,
It's ridiculous. She would never do that.
she wouldn't know.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why she's got 3.7 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny when, I get messages from people trying to goad me into like YouTube drama. And I'm like, you realize that the people who watch my stuff don't know who you are.
Right.
And don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about the goings on of things and how we feel about them. If I came out and said like, there's this guy, he's got like 20 followers and he called me a conspiracy theorist, they'd be like, dude, so what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Or anyone, if anyone called you anything, who cares?
Dude, I get called
I'm
so
gonna
many
do
names.
me.
It's called
I'm gonna do me and
everything,
do my own thing.
I'll tell you this though. When after Occupy Wall Street, that was like the first time I had ever gotten like press attention.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I went from having like 600 followers to having 6,000.
Okay.
Dude, it was stressful
Was it?
because I didn't understand what was going on, and so all of a sudden, my phone would vibrate, and I'd look at my phone, and they would be like, "You POS, your mother," and I'm like, "What's happening?" And I'd look, and they'd say all these crazy things about me. People started like photoshopping pictures of me, and I started getting like, I would get like, I would get stressed out by it.
Okay.
And then, I consider myself to be rather measured. And so like almost immediately after the first day of like getting slammed by all these tweets insulting me and attacking me, I was just like, F this, X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Turn it off.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And I just that was the end of it. And then it was really interesting for me. Cause I'll tell you what really shuts this off for your brain is when I was in Venezuela and this high profile pundit accused me of being a CIA operative or like some kind of spy.
Yeah.
And then I got in like 10 minutes, 10,000 plus tweets threatening me, insulting me from Venezuelans, like some of them threatening death.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a wake up call when your phone just goes like, and like all these things are popping up, like we're
gotta
coming
shut
for
it
you, we'll
off,
find
yeah.
you. And I'm like, time to leave the country.
Yes.
So if you think like calling me a name is worrisome to me when I've literally been shot at and forced to flee a country after being accused of being a spy by a high profile pundit.
That's what it is. We've both been shot at.
Oh, definitely, man.
That's it.
I love.
Once you've been shot at, you're like, nah.
Yeah, right.
Everything else
Words.
is super chill.
Words.
That's Chicago.
Yeah.
Go ahead, call me words.
Sticks
I-
and
I-
stones.
It is also Chicago. I'm from Chicago too, if you guys
Yeah.
don't know, and that's where it
where
was.
the shooting
That's where it
I
happened, yeah.
I love talking with. I'll be talking with like a female journalist, conflict reporter, and you can tell when someone's actually dealt with real life.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll say it's extremely rare to find one of these woke, dainty flowers of a conspiracy. Like I've never met a conflict journalist that is into all this social justice, whatever, and is really delicate and scared and offended all the time.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Every single conflict journalist I've ever interacted with, male or female, has been like, I don't care about that.
Right.
Like, because the first
Logic
time
based.
the first bullet
You know.
that flies past your head, you get a sense of what matters in life.
Really gives you
Definitely.
some perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense.
Have you been shot at?
I have not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, but I could see it.
Well, when you're from Chicago, it's almost like a rite
You
of
don't have a
passage.
choice. Yeah.
But
It's true.
not shot at, maybe like they
Oh.
shot in your general direction.
Oh no, they were shooting at me.
Oh man, they were out to get soy Jesus.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, see, I
and you
haven't-
know why? You know why they were shooting at me and my friends?
Why?
Because one of my friends had his hat that way
Oh
Yep.
no.
instead of this way, and three of
Poor
them came up to
fool.
us and like, take off your hat. And my
Dude.
buddy's like, no,
Oh,
and they're like,
gosh.
take it off or else, and he was like, no,
Oh my god.
and then they ran that way, and all of a sudden we were barbecuing, and a bullet hit the barbecue.
Whoa.
And my friend was like, they're shooting at us. And we started going. And I ran I saw a dumpster. And I was running to the dumpster to get behind it. And I heard the bullet go past my head. And I saw the bullet hole in the dumpster.
Oh
Whoa.
my god.
As I dove behind it, I was like, I almost just died.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Focus.
That's Chicago.
Immediate focus.
So I was getting off
Yeah,
I was
so
getting off
that happened.
290 is the highway that goes into Chicago. And I was with my brother, my older brother Ryan. We were driving off this exit, and it's in the middle of the night. We see this. It's like an Oldsmobile driving towards us. When all of a sudden, an arm just very slowly, methodically goes like that with the gun.
Whoa.
Boom! And we're like, "What the?" We had no idea why. That's Chicago. And we were like, we just look at each other, smile, and go, Chicago.
Sure.
And then we pop a Mentos and we just carry on with our lives.
Do
my
like a hop,
gosh.
skip,
Yeah.
high five in the air, freeze frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
but I think actually like we're joking about all this, but in reality, a lot of these people that are super like screechy and whiny, like who go out and like throw bricks and stuff, they've never actually experienced hardship.
Yep.
They tend to
I
be,
agree.
you know, the progressive activists. This is what the studies say. Tend to be higher profile, white, college educated, coming from wealthier families or making $100,000 a year or more.
Well, the online persona, you have like this fake armor. You know, it's because I'm here and anything I send goes out there, that I have this huge armor that no one can touch me, so I can say anything I want.
Yeah, but these people get legit anxiety attacks from seeing naughty words on the internet.
That's true.
Like you'll say like you're a poo-poo head, and they'll go, and they'll collapse.
Yeah.
And they call it violence.
And they'll call the police on you.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is now, because this is one of the segments we might get to, is that a lot of these people, you know, they're susceptible to COVID.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
big fat feminists.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm saying they're literally, that's what they are, big fat
Factually
feminists.
correct. Yep.
And there is a risk factor there. So all of this, you know, lack of responsibility is putting them in in harm's way, and that, I think that's a bad thing.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
don't
I'd
that.
like everyone to be healthy, you know.
Yeah.
Let's grab some more of these, and then we'll
Right.
try and get to this next segment. Gothic says weekend at Creepy Biden's. Definitely. Space Otter says I had a crush on Alyssa when I was a kid during Who's the Boss. Then I grew up and she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Davis says, how does that chick that is talking look? If she is single, tell her I would love to take her out and see if we enjoy the evening.
Random.
All right.
Next on the dating game.
Moving on.
Michael says, I want to see the girl in the background, Tim. What does she look like?
What?
You only show Soy Jesus and show the girl, please. How can I describe her? So she's 17 feet tall.
See, she's
She's
shaped
got
like a
green,
beanie.
Green scales. She's
Right.
from the Paleolithic era.
She's got gray
It's
and
true.
the darker
Yeah.
gray side. It's a beanie.
My
It's a
voice
beanie.
It's a
is-
beanie.
Yeah, my voice is very nice compared to what I actually look
I'm looking
like.
over and I just see a beanie.
Yeah, I'm just a big
just a
blob.
beanie that's
Like a
on the.
sack
It
of
talks
beanie.
a little bit.
A
Oh
lot.
man. All right, I think we're gonna have to speed things up. So
right.
apologize if we can't get to your
Speed.
super chats, but we got a ton of super chats. Just jumped right in. I don't even know where we are at. There we go. I think I found it. All right. Thomas Church says, doesn't he know when it's pizza on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime? Yeah, but the pizza bagels, remember those pizza
Not the
bagels?
same.
You have
They
to
were-
do them right.
But they're rubbery.
No.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
what. Did you microwave them?
Right.
Yeah, you can't microwave
But
them.
in the commercial, they show you put it in the microwave.
Yeah, but then they get rubbery. No, you got to put them in the oven. The oven. Then they get crispy.
Yeah. All right.
that's
I'm
fair.
telling you, listen to the ways.
Spencer Christopher says men were becoming weak. It takes hard times to rewire the indoctrination. Let's see. Chung, thanks for the super chat. Mark says, love the show. The Phantom Menace proved Trump right on China. George Lucas is also a visionary. People scoffed at trade routes in episode 1. No one laughs about no TB. May the force and the two-ply be with you. Thank you, good sir.
Thank you.
Albie says, here is some money for more cool floaty desk thingies.
Woo,
Hi
thank
to you,
you.
Tim, Soy, Jesus, and Lydia. Appreciate it.
Thank
Word.
you.
What up?
FLA says, still essential, still working. 1 confirmed cases in my store. F for me, LOL.
Oh, gosh.
You know what a friend said to me? They said it's not essential, it's sacrificial. They're the people who have to work that, or else.
That's like their job. That's That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
They're thrown on the front lines. They know they'll get sick, and they have to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And the rest of us hide while they
Dude.
are on the front line.
We appreciate
Shout out
them.
to all those sacrificial workers then.
Essential
man.
workers.
Essential
Absolutely.
workers.
But I don't blame them for feeling like they're
All of
being
them.
sacrificial.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
seriously, everyone keeps the clapping videos are a little weird. Like I'm proving to the world that I'm clapping for these people.
Right.
It's like no. But I have a platform here. I'm just gonna say thank you
Yeah, we
for doing
appreciate
your
you
job.
guys.
I'll tell you what. You know what makes better videos? Like walk up to them and hand them $1. Like, here you go.
Yeah, a
Here's,
buddy of mine was like,
get a
you know what?
cheeseburger.
I really don't need this money from the government. Like, why shouldn't we just send it to, we should send it to the people that need it. And I just said, why don't you just take it and go find someone and give it to them then?
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
That's the other thing too. It's like AOC is Ocasio-Cortez was talking about how they should give stimulus money based on reparations for minorities,
Okay.
so that people who don't need it don't get it. And I'm like, they're literally giving out the money based on your income. So regardless of your race, if you're poor and need it, you get it, and if you're rich, you don't.
Right. So
And you know what? That's technically unfair.
right.
You know why?
Why?
So if somebody in 2018 worked double shifts every week to save up,
Yeah.
they don't get access to the stimulus. It doesn't mean they have money now.
Because they were making more that year.
Yeah. So
Right.
so the assumption that everyone has is that if you made $100,000 a year in 2018, it means that you were working a 40-hour week job and just happened to be rich. You could also have been working two $50,000 a year jobs and just working overtime to save up and be responsible.
Right.
And now you don't get access to the stimulus. But for the most part,
So there's holes in it, but for the
but I
most
agree with
part,
it.
yeah, for
To
the most
you
part,
know,
it's like if you're rich, you don't get it.
but so
You don't
I
need it.
wouldn't somebody who works 80-hour weeks on low-paying jobs to
Yeah.
save up, I wouldn't call rich.
I agree.
It's just someone who saved money.
Yeah. And worked hard.
But I don't know how else you divvy it up. I don't think giving it out based on race makes sense.
Nope.
All right, let's read some
That's
more.
fairly racist.
That's
Right.
a lot racist.
The Unrefined says Joe Biden mumbling is beyond cantinflas speeches. Cantinflas, what? Didactic says, love the skate videos on your Instagram. Keep it up. Will do.
Yeah, man.
Deacon Blue says, Brett Novak's filming is gorgeous.
I
It is
know.
incredible.
It is gorgeous.
Jack Daw says, the only advice I want from Rose McGowan is how to walk on a machine gun prosthetic. Oh, that was her in that movie, right? Where her leg was a machine gun?
Must
Oh,
have been.
really?
Was it?
No, it
You know what I'm
must have
talking
been.
about?
Yeah,
was the Quentin
sounds
Tarantino movie?
Familiar.
Was that
like
her?
Dark
was that
City
Kill Bill?
or
No.
No.
It's, what was it called? It was two movies. It was a double feature.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't know if that was her. Was that her? Robert Bettel says, please report on the effects of coronavirus on agriculture, planting, and harvest. Thank you for all your work. Well, take a look into it. Deacon Blue says, you guys should try Chapman skateboards. They're made in America on Long Island, and they're a family-owned business. They're also the manufacturer of Zoo York and Supreme skateboards. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, right on.
Jack Daw says, at this point, they should just add involuntary manslaughter to the definition of the U.S. presidency. I mean, yeah, kind of. Mr. Paul R. says, hey, Tim, soy just Lydia.
What up?
Got a lot of different beanies today at Wally World. Love y'all's work.
Woo.
Sean Hannity stated Cuomo banned hydroxychloroquine reported yesterday, playing politics with people's lives.
Oh,
But
they thought of us when they saw beanies.
But they're using it. They're using the treatment.
I know, that's what all I could see is they thought of us when they saw beanies.
Yeah.
I love it.
Appreciate you.
Brandon Gravely says, how much do I have to tip for you guys to change your name to TimcastIRL to BeanieCast?
BeanieCast.
We will launch a second podcast to air at 3 a.m, and you have to sponsor the show for, I don't know, what, $1 million?
It'll
3
just
in the
be
morning.
like
Pardon me?
beanies down here talking.
Yeah, we'll just leave the cameras running. We'll put beanies in chairs.
I like that.
And do voiceovers.
yeah, I like that.
Jelly says, I looked up Nathan Rich, and he has a video posted in the past day. Tim Pool claims you say trying to kill him. Check it out, 100,000 views. I'd never said that. What?
Okay,
know,
random.
whatever.
What the heck?
BB says, hope you support your local business with this. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just the fact says nothing Pythy, right? Just wanted to support. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Big Dog says, oh, where we go? Big Dog says,
Where'd Big Dog go?
hey guys, there are videos going viral where people recorded the same locations MSM pushes as war zones and death camps, and they are totally still. Take an honest gander for us and report back. Original hard to find, more good news. Well, I can say that the Subverse crew interviewed an infectious disease expert, and I got some criticisms of the video. They do their thing, but this guy is explaining how he ended up getting sick, and he's struggling to breathe and talk.
Yeah,
it's
it really
like, he's
is.
like,
It's clear.
and
yeah,
he's
dude.
explaining how he got sick.
I mean,
so-
it was 5 days after he recovered from
Yeah.
the hard symptoms, so he's still sick, obviously.
Right.
You can hear it in his lungs.
Yep.
So
So I don't know I can't comment on what the media is showing. I do know that CBS used footage from Italy.
Yeah, that whole thing.
And they're like, oops. Remember,
Whoopsie.
wasn't it
Oops.
ABC who used a gun show and claimed it was a war zone?
Yeah.
These people are despicable.
never
Great
held to
news,
account.
everybody. Great news.
I know.
Yeah, jeez.
Is the world not exciting enough for you? Trent says, I may be forgetting, but have y'all discussed the World Health Organization person that avoided the Taiwan question? Oh, yes, definitely.
We did talk about it a few times, yeah.
Buick says, thank you for the hard work. I help support a widely used property management development software program. Roughly 70% of April rent payments processed. I'll check back in May. Cool. Matt Hatter says, with all of the new anti-CCP sentiment coming out from C19 immediately after Hong Kong protests peaked, do you think the entire world is going to have a red scare? I don't know about red, but China, Frunk says, love your videos. When will we see a magic stream? I don't know. Maybe we won't do it on this channel. Maybe we'll make a new one and do some gaming stuff.
A gaming channel.
Al Santiago says, I work as a caregiver for 6 elderly in a facility. State wants us to social distance our residents with dementia and Alzheimer's. Just feels wrong as they love to interact with each other. It's tough though, man.
Yeah, it sucks for them.
Bruh 3.0 says, just throwing you some dosh. Make sure you POS brother doesn't get a dime. All right. Arthur Davison says, China imports oil to make fertilizer. They can't defend those supply lines or maintain order in the Persian Gulf. They will have a famine when the U.S. stops guaranteeing security for global trade. Oof. Connor Stevens says, when Chatham said they'll call the police over naughty words, that's no joke. Here in Seattle, SPD said they don't have resources for burglaries and the like, but please call 911 if someone uses hate speech against you.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Student of History says, me and a couple of coworkers were talking about the Wu flu, and one old-timer piped up with coronavirus. What do I care? I beat the clap. Why should I care about this? I simultaneously died and prayed. There we go. All right. We'll read one more. Sung Station says, can Soy Jesus feed 5,000 jobless liberal arts graduates with just 5 loaves of vegan gluten-free bread and 2 avocados?
I'll see what I can do.
No, don't do that.
All right,
No
all right.
promises.
Okay.
Let's get to the scary news,
Yeah.
because this stuff affects all of us.
Yeah,
And we're gonna be
directly.
rather serious with all you guys. Many of you may like this show. You come here. There's around 12,500 or so of you, and we love that you come to this show.
Yes, we do.
But YouTube has been increasingly shutting down content creators. And this has started over the past few years. And as I've predicted and many others have predicted, what we think is happening, YouTube wants to completely get rid of this. They completely want to get rid of the independent, homegrown, small business media outfit. Now, there are a lot of people who say really dumb things, and they were the first to go. And I still think it's wrong because I believe in free speech, even for people who aren't smart. It's kind of weird that these people believe that if you're not smart enough, you're not allowed to speak, but that's what they're doing. Well, it's slowly getting worse and worse. So we just saw 2 major complete shutdowns on YouTube, and it's kind of worrying. Let's start with Ariel Scarcella.
yeah,
we'll start with
and
Ariel.
what I think, it's just these are the 2 people we know.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh, I know
So-
tons of other channels. I've seen them all over.
So if it's
all
happened
over.
to these 2, like I can only imagine the amount that is across the board.
It's a lot.
So go ahead.
So here's what's been happening over the past several years. They've been slowly starting with demonetizations, just saying, "Oh no, this video is no good. This video is no good," and they've started a hard manual review of every single channel, removing people from the partner program, which means you can't make money anymore. You're out. That means if you don't make money, they don't recommend your content because YouTube prioritizes content with ads in it because they want to make money.
Yep.
So there's some good news for the high-profile YouTubers who have already broke through. You're going to get more money because these other creators are being purged. That means the available ad space is going down. I
Yep.
think I know why they're doing this. There's a couple reasons, and one of them is ad space related, supply and demand. But let's take a look at what happened first. We have this tweet from Ariel Scarcella. She was a guest on this show last month or so, and this is a tweet from January 2018. She said, over the past year, YouTube has been killing ads on around 79% of my videos. If you'd like to help fund my LGBT educational content, please donate to her Patreon. There are tons of great rewards and Skype calls from me. Well, shortly after appearing on this show, she tweeted this. This is from a couple days ago. I didn't want to post this publicly, but YouTube Creators has demonetized my entire channel for the past 3 weeks. If you appreciate my content, please support my work through Patreon. If you can afford it, a few dollars goes a long way. This is an email she received that says, during a recent review, our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded to your channel, Ariel Scarcella. We found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies. As of today, Your channel is not eligible to monetize, and you will not have access to monetization tools and features. Please go to your monetization page to read more about the specific policy our specialists flagged. Now, this seems to be YouTube escalating their enforcement because Ariel talks about adult, stuff.
Yeah.
Sexuality, relationships, and things like that. But it was okay for the longest time. The media, these people that are that YouTube competes with, who don't like them, then start writing all this fake news, all these smears that are just not true, algorithmically, proven false. Researchers from Berkeley, even, and Berkeley super progressive, proved that the rabbit hole narrative is just all not true.
Right.
But this is part of what YouTube is doing to purge creators.
Yeah.
So the rules are getting stricter. They're retroactively giving people guideline strikes, which brings me now to one of the more worrying demonetizations. Because look, Ariel, in my opinion, shouldn't have been demonetized.
I agree.
They should have said the specific content we don't want. It's I get it. I'll also point out YouTube has no obligation to be your ad sales manager.
Right.
If nobody wants to watch your content, it's not YouTube's job to market for you and sell your ads. But so I don't think it's fair that she was banned, but she did talk about adult stuff. Now, Luke, on the other hand, talks about news, and this is what Luke tweeted. This is just from a couple hours ago. Just had YouTube totally take away my income, and now my entire channel is demonetized. Why, YouTube creators? This is how I survive. Why do this now, especially during these difficult times? Thank you to everyone who helps here. You want to know why this is so egregious, in my opinion? Of all of the times YouTube could destroy someone's business, they're doing it at a time when the economy is already under massive strain.
Yeah.
And the last thing we need is for someone like Luke to lose his job. Now, I've taken some actions to try and mitigate the potential risk because I don't think I'm safe. How long until YouTube comes and, gives the ban hammer to me or anybody else?
Right.
Luke said there was no specific video or violation, no strikes, nothing. How the hell am I supposed to change anything if I don't know what to change? And my livelihood is dependent on this. This is cruel, YouTube creators. Yep. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Meanwhile, Facebook is running ads of Chinese state propaganda blaming Trump for COVID-19. YouTube will run overt fake news from mainstream media that just says, Trump is bad. People will fall for it. They'll go insane. And then a week later, it turns out Trump was right.
Right.
So the example I used just a few minutes ago, I did a video on my second channel about the Wuhan CDC lab near the wet market. The Washington Post wrote and got a quote from a Rutgers professor saying that there were security risks and that there had been breaches before, and we should consider the possibility. It's basically what they were saying. We don't know for sure. We do think the most likely is natural occurrence, but it may have been a breach from a lab. YouTube demonetized that video because they have told me I'm not allowed to say the virus may have originated in a lab, even though the mainstream media says it. So this system can't function. But I'll tell you what I think they're doing. When you have YouTube with, I think there was like 100 million channels, and most of them don't produce anything. You have essentially infinite supply, minimal demand. So what ends up happening is when a company like Pepsi wants to run ads, they're like, I can just sell an ad for a penny. Or I can buy an ad for a penny because there's so much content that the demand is, the supply is infinite. It's like, what am I worried about? How can YouTube artificially suppress the supply so that Pepsi is forced to pay 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents or more? Ad rates are really, really low on YouTube, which made it hard for them to attract high profile and high budget projects. Like, I'll tell you what, man, the amount of money that it would cost me on YouTube to make a really nice, beautiful documentary is a fraction of the cost it would be for any other production company.
Okay.
So like Vice, for instance, would spend $50,000 on a 10-minute segment. I could do it for a couple grand. But what ends up happening is when you get people constantly cutting costs and making low quality content, then advertisers don't want to be associated with it.
Yep.
You have a massive supply of cheap content that's not worth anything, and YouTube can't make money. So YouTube finds an excuse. Ooh, everyone's complaining about politics. Let's start purging everybody. That way we can force all of these companies to spend more on digital ads on YouTube because it is valuable to a certain degree. That will drive up the amount of money the YouTubers get, and then they'll increase their production quality. So I wonder if the actual reason these people are being purged is because their production quality was too low.
Or they didn't have the following that
Luke had 622,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but was his videos? I don't really look at his YouTube channel, but was it were they popular, and were they were they advertised, or like were they able to be advertised in a sense? Like, you said Pepsi as an example, so wouldn't Pepsi want to be advertised on, I don't know, drinking
this
stuff? I guess, yeah, people drink Pepsi while they're relaxing, whatever, but like, aren't ads like kind of catered to the video?
Not always, but yes.
No? Like,
right?
political stuff,
like,
you'll see
dude,
political stuff.
Political ads are gone right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the political landscape is
wiped out.
Yeah, there isn't any.
This is crazy. So I'll tell you too, from a business standpoint, ad revenue is down, like bad down for everybody, and it's going down every single day. Media companies are laying people off. We're seeing a lot of companies either do layoffs or pay cuts. CEOs skip their salaries. Mm-hmm. But yeah, even for us, ad revenue is dropping substantially. Now, because I am on my main channel do politics, like ad revenue dropped off to a ridiculous degree, more than 50%. It's like overnight, just like, whoa, all of a sudden gone.
Yeah.
So that's why I've done a few more sponsored spots. But what's worrying is, I can't say exactly why they purged Luke, but right now, of all the times to do it. So when they started demonetizing my content, they were demonetizing everything coronavirus related. YouTube is not a good place to run a business. Absolutely not. There's a good opportunity because they market for you. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, but you said it yourself. They don't have any obligation to put ads on your channel.
Right.
Right.
So here's the problem. YouTube has taken the entire industry, the ad agency, the marketing company, and the hosting provider, put them all together, which just destroyed all the competition. They've incentivized everyone to come to their platform and spend years building the stuff up. Luke's been producing on YouTube for how long has it been? 15 years, some ridiculous number.
Wow.
Yeah, so 13 or so years. Because he's been on YouTube since it started. Because he's always been alternative media and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So they tell you all these things, and then without breaking the rules, without breaking any contracts, they destroy your business. I'll put it this way. Here's how I've always explained to people. Imagine if you found a building in your town, and you're like, this building looks great. And you went to the bank, you bought it, put everything together, paid your taxes, and then one day the local town comes in and says, the first thing we're going to do is physically relocate your business out of downtown 40 miles away from the city. You'd be like, whoa, but then no one will ever come in to buy, my cookies that I'm making.
Yeah.
That's what YouTube did first, de-ranking your content so that no one can find it.
Right.
And then they argue, oh, but people could still go buy if they want to. Yeah, but are they going to look for it?
Right.
Then they remove you from search. Now you can't Google search my channels. Nope. Timcast and Timcast News, not in Google.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So that's why another reason why I'm like, you gotta change things up. Now what they're straight up doing is, imagine you bought a building and they said, you're gonna be good, build your business here. All your customers come in, build at the area, and then they come in and just crush your building, destroy it outright. Without warning, without breaking any contracts. You didn't break any rules.
So like you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Do you think it's because YouTube is losing the ad revenue, so they're purging a lot of people to make the ads worth more, so then they'll just make more money?
Yep.
Right.
So I think it's a combination of factors.
Yeah.
YouTube is and the media compete with each other to a certain degree, right? CBS and Fox and CNN, they're all on YouTube. They use it. YouTube wants to attract high profile, high production quality shows. They do so my main channel, it's like a browser window with my face in the corner.
Right.
I can't imagine they like that.
Right.
Now this is different. This is multi-camera lights, set design and everything. So production quality has gone up. Luke was doing, and I mean no disrespect, Luke had a lower production quality. Okay. He had a grainier camera, but he was doing similar things to what I was doing with your face in the corner. That's why I'm saying I don't know how long I am for this world.
Yeah.
This show I think they might like because it's like a live show with multiple cameras, but we're still not like the Daily Show where you do everything pre-scripted and it's all this fake stuff or whatever.
True.
But I think that's an excuse. They want to get higher quality content, which requires better paying ads. They want Hollywood to come to YouTube and use them as a platform.
Yeah, they want to be Netflix.
Right. And they can't so long as they have people on YouTube screaming about the Illuminati and lizard people. So I do think they like me. The theory that I've had for a long time as to why I think YouTube tolerates me is that there's a certain amount of conservatives who do watch me. Mm-hmm. But I'm not overtly conservative. So I don't, so there are people like, Steven Crowder, for instance, they take away his monetization. They say, you say naughty words, boom, you can't make money. For me, it's like, more moderate.
Okay.
So they don't want to lose any of their users. And if they start banning everyone on the right, they'll lose all their users. And so we did a survey, and I think it was something like, 17 to like 25% of the people who watch me identified as conservative.
Okay.
So I think what YouTube sees is, here's a guy who, if we ban the conservatives, they'll stay around to watch him, so we won't lose them. So keep him around. They don't like me. They don't like what I say, but it's safe for the brands.
Right.
So that means that the conservatives who they think, push the boundary they don't like, they can get rid of, and then hope that I might pick up some of these, people who get left behind.
I guess that works both ways too, because you're talking about one side, and the same goes for the other side, right?
They don't care about the far left.
Oh no,
lunatics.
They don't.
For the most part, they just ignore it.
Okay.
So you actually have channels that have told people how to commit crimes and stuff,
and they don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, they don't care. That's exactly how it goes. I mean, you look at what happened with Trump on Twitter.
Okay.
Joe Biden launched his campaign by mishmashing statements from Trump to lie. It's called the verifying people hoax.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah. I won't get into much detail, but anyway, Joe Biden makes ads where he takes one sentence and another sentence, mashes them together, and Twitter says it's fine. Trump shows one clip of something Joe Biden actually said, but it was the rest of his sentence was cut, and they flag it as manipulated. So then Joe Biden comes out with another video that mishmashes words from Trump to make sentences Trump never said. Seriously, that's what he did.
Wow.
Yeah, like he took a word from Trump, coronavirus, and then took hoax and mashed them together. Trump never said it. But now people believe he did.
Wow.
And Twitter refused to take it down or flag it. So then the Trump campaign did the same thing to Biden, and they didn't do anything either. But the one-directional nature of how this stuff works is very, very obvious. I will add, it's no coincidence, in my opinion, that only a couple weeks after Ariel Scarcella comes out condemning the far left, they stripped her from the partner program.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It was almost immediately after she said that she was coming out as more conservative or something, or as leaving the left, I think she said it was.
Right.
Because they've gone nuts. Then what happens a couple weeks later? She's out.
But
No more money.
Wouldn't that make her more in tune with like your channel? Because the conservatives are on the right. Like she's saying she's leaving the left.
Yep.
She's coming more towards the center. So wouldn't that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would she? Yeah, it would have been.
Right,
yeah, she would have been one of the safe video makers.
Well,
Yeah.
she does talk about adult stuff,
Yeah. That's
Okay.
True too. Yeah.
like adult relationship things.
Indeed.
So I
Yeah.
think that was a
Yes.
line for them too.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
And now she's starting to dance around on the leaving the left stuff, which the media has smeared relentlessly with lies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's like probably a risk assessment score or something maybe, where they're like, oh, add these factors together. The problem with Luke is that Luke's got a long-standing history on YouTube. So you go back to what's Luke supposed to do? Delete 10 years of videos? They could go back to 10 years and find every video he's ever done, find one of them they don't like, and ban him for it.
Yeah.
So that's a serious conversation people on YouTube have had is, do we just delete every video a week later? And then upload that to an archive website for people to watch if they want to watch it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like you're the expert here.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You look at Family Guy, and I question why it is that Family Guy has a character that is a Jewish stereotype that in every possible most demeaning way mocks him for being Jewish.
Yep.
We just were watching, I think it was Family Guy, and Stewie and Brian have a conversation about trans people, and they ask, it was like really offensive.
Right.
But that's fine on every platform. It's fine on YouTube. It's fine on Netflix and Hulu.
Like that scene.
That scene, yeah,
On
it was
Family Guy. Okay.
Stewie and Brian sitting there questioning what trans people are like downstairs and like a bunch of other really offensive things.
Mm-hmm.
You see how I have to say these things on YouTube?
Right, I know.
Yeah, the stream will get shut off. Like people don't realize this. There have been people who have been streaming, and I'll tell you what, it's not necessarily the same thing. But David Pakman, progressive YouTuber, I think it's fair to say he's progressive, liberal. He was streaming the debates, and they disabled his stream because he was commenting on footage that was publicly available and broadcast. It's happened to a ton of people. Even C-SPAN has been flagged.
Really?
So they're really trying to shut down non-mainstream content. If you are a non-mainstream personality and you are commenting on, the live Democrat debates, they will ban you outright. They ban you from live streaming. So we got to be careful. But it's crazy that we live in this world where I have to abide by a 2-week delay that YouTube because of you. So let me restart over. The Washington Post will say, hey, maybe this started in the lab. YouTube says, don't you say it. Don't you say it. Not until the media says it. And I'm like, but the media just said it.
Right.
And they're like, and then 2 weeks later, someone at YouTube finally figures out they're saying it and says, okay, now you can say it. Or Voldemort, the political guy who
Yeah,
worked for the
that
CIA,
one
his
guy.
name I can't say. I was told by YouTube I would be allowed to say his name the moment it became in the public debate and said by politicians and by the media.
Okay.
And it was said numerous times on Fox News, and it was said by a couple different politicians. And then when I asked them, I was like, okay, are we good now? They said no. They even deleted a video of a senator speaking on the Senate floor saying his name.
Wow.
That's how insane YouTube has gotten. So anyway, I can wrap this one up because I think we've gone for a while with discussion. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if in the next 6 months, considering we're in an election year, I don't know what'll happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if my channels are purged. All of them, outright. Even this one. So who knows?
Wonderful.
For now, everything seems to be going okay.
Yeah.
Except-
Thank you, everybody.
No,
Yeah,
but for
we
real.
appreciate you
Appreciate
guys
you
so
guys.
much.
One
Oh
of
my
one of
gosh.
the reasons for wanting to do this show was like I work all day every day and I'm seeing this happening and I'm like, they've blacklisted my channels.
Yeah,
They
already.
deny it. I'm gonna make a new channel and we're gonna do something different. You know, and we're gonna try and it doesn't matter because when Tim Pool gets banned, all of Tim Pool is banned.
Let's start a new channel and bring on a soy kind of a.
Soy bro.
expert.
Soy kind of a
soy
Jesus.
Soy
vibe.
Chad.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. Chatham.
And here I am.
yes,
We'll-
here
we'll-
it is.
We'll see what happens. You know, for now, it's not even it's scary to see them hitting. You know, Ariel and Luke. They're both verified Twitter users.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're both
Like-
very different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
how do you even figure out why they got removed?
There's no like
Nope.
commonality almost.
No idea. So I don't know if I'm safe or not, but I can say even right now I'm not even super worried. Right now I am, but with ad revenue tanking because of COVID and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how much it matters because I've been doing the sponsor spots and suffice it to say that made up for a decent amount of the loss. The sponsor spots I've done have covered the losses and done me a little bit better. But if I didn't do them, I'd be down substantially. So for now, with the goal being to expand and survive, like people don't understand how it works with a business. They think that if you make good money, then you're good forever. But look at all these big corporations that are like, we have 1 month of operating costs.
Right.
That's not good business.
No, it's not.
We'll see what happens, everybody. For now, thanks for hanging out and watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on our accounts. We still have another hour for you guys. I'm just saying, so long as you're here, we're here as well. I don't know what'll happen if YouTube ever gives us the ban hammer, but how about we talk about we'll do some super chats.
Yes.
And then should we talk about the rat apocalypse?
Yeah, it's fun.
The
Rat-pocalypse?
rats are coming to get us.
Yes.
That's great.
Is a plague of rats following the coronavirus as urban rats face a growing food scarcity. We ask an expert what that could mean for your household. It means the rats
A
are coming
rat
for you.
expert.
Rats are coming.
Oh,
All right, we'll
cool.
grab these super chats. Let me try and figure out where the super chats left off, because I don't know. Here we go. All right, I think I found it. Let's see. 56th Crusader says, quote by Groucho Marx, words, man, they're great. They are great. Gloria says, hey, Tim, just thought I would let you know. I think you are sexy as hell. Please don't MeToo me. I won't. Drunk Shovel says, sacrificial worker here? Like legit, I work in a liquor store. Oh, man, but that's the most essential.
Is it?
Listen, there's a reason why they say liquor is safe, even in a recession. Because when people get desperate, it can be bad if people get drunk and aggressive, but it can be good if people are getting angry and have a nice drink and buzz out and chill out. You know what I mean? So maybe
Okay.
in that regard, pot smoking is better. I don't know.
I don't
Whatever
know.
calms people down as things get crazy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think liquor can be important. Foul Lane, thanks for the super chat. Let's see. Perry Wood says, there's a Chinese show on Netflix that came out in 2018 called My Secret Terrius that predicted the coronavirus on episode 10. Coronora, not a typo. Oh, interesting. Let's see, where are we at now? J-Man says, feminism birthed communism and fascism. Did it? I'm not sure if it did, actually. I don't know. Let's see. Johnny Pittman says, it's easier to find men that would volunteer to die than find those who are willing to endure pain with patience. Julius Caesar. Very nice. Yu says, this used to be Tim Pool Gaming Channel. I want MTG. It did, in fact, used to be Tim Pool Gaming Channel.
I know it started, right?
Yeah, and then I was like, I got to change it. And then it was the van thing briefly. And then I was like,
Right.
Couldn't find anybody for
And
that.
then I took over.
Yeah,
This channel's mine.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, sorry.
Good to know.
Got a little crazy there.
Yeah, man.
Crank Sinatra says, here's 1,809 Zimbabwe dollars.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Nice.
Home Brian says, doesn't Lydia run Subverse News? Why are people asking who she is? She doesn't. Emily does.
I'm
Lydia's,
not Emily.
Lydia's not Emily. Cliff said, you should check out Rebel News' video about Tedros, what's his name, of who? Scary stuff.
What's his name?
Israfel says, I'm an essential worker, apparently, that delivers pizza. With a wife that is highly immunocompromised, I would rather have a bonus and a vacation after this is done instead of a clap and a thank you. I hear you.
Man.
True that.
Josh Aubin says, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers attempted to postpone our elections. The Supreme Court ruled unconstitutional. What can I tell people when they ask why it's so important to vote and not postpone? I honestly have no idea. Furby Slayer says, Ariel's content is a bit different, but her crime is coming out as a rational thinking person.
I think you're right.
Continue to voice support for her at every chance. Yep. Well, we'll see how long we last. Chuck Morris says, Beanie Boy is my favorite garbage pail kid. It's a good one. Kat Young says, they demonetized quite frankly today also. No super chats. Wow. Quite frankly. He's a podcaster.
Oh, wow.
That's a big hit. They're going methodically through channels.
Dude.
You know what? I might just get in the van and just go off in the wilderness. Just
bug out.
Bug out.
The bug
go
out van?
into the
Down
sunset.
by the river.
Just crack the back door open. Look at the mountains. Salt Lake City's beautiful.
Yeah.
The Rabbit's Hole says, trying to grow a tiny commentary channel right now. Talking about the virus has completely tanked me thanks to search results suppression. Yes. Yep. They don't want you to
Sorry,
talk.
Dude.
Fallon says, they can't shut you down, Tim. You're my favorite, LOL. I actually like that after they play Tucker, like him a lot now. Well, yeah. Wesley says, killing it, Broski. Appreciate it. Azazel says, does YouTube make more money from ads or from stealing a cut of super chats? Probably ads.
Yeah.
Definitely ads.
I would think ads.
Yeah.
Because they're on every video.
And the percentages are the same, but YouTube runs ads on channels that aren't in the partner program. So when they kick you out, they still run ads, and then they keep all of the money.
Jeez.
Skeldog says, AI Beanie 3 a.m. podcast needs to happen. We can maybe figure out a silly thing. Hey Momo
We could do
says,
a video.
YouTube is now recommending me a channel called Nathan Rich. Dude appears to be pro-China and really doesn't like you, Tim. Interesting recommendation. Pro-China.
I read the
Is he American?
comments under his video.
Yeah.
They're universally praising him, and a lot of them are Chinese.
They
It's
are
very
Chinese?
Weird. Yeah, it is weird. I'll just show it to you.
China.
Jada.
Whatever. Stephen Big says, Planet Terror is what movie you were thinking of. And it was Robert Rodriguez who did the movie. Quentin did Death Proof, double feature called Grindhouse. Ah, there you go. Was Rose McGowan in it? Stephen Askew, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Mr. Oh, where are we at? We just jumped.
Grindhouse was the one where she had a
Here we go.
machine gun leg, just for the record.
But was that Rose McGowan?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Hunt, first name Michael. Cultural Marxism is dead. Long live meritocracy. Hopefully. There's a long way to fight. All right. BV says, Tim, would it be useful for journalists to be provided OSINT support, distributed collab tech that implements embedded structured analytic, critical thinking methods with rigorous versioning and knowledge curation for proof of due diligence? I have no idea. I don't know what the issue is with most journalists other than they're just going to lie. So however you solve for that problem, I don't know. They made that's a bit too technical for me. Colin says, you guys should set up a DLive and BitChute accounts. I do have BitChute, and it automatically archives all of my content there anyway. But
Very good, yeah.
Stephen Askew says, y'all going to move to BitChute? No, I'm already there. LaSalle Rhyme says, good evening, keep up the good work. Viperus says, Tim, It's a Gundam and Clownfish TV are the only reason I still use YouTube. If they get rid of all of them, or all but Tim, I will delete my YouTube account and listen to the podcast on Spotify instead. Interestingly, the amount of downloads I get on the podcast is like, I think 1/200th less. Some really, no. I think it's 1/40th less. Yeah.
Then on the YouTube source?
Yeah, so on YouTube, I get around 40 plus million.
Okay.
And then on iTunes, it's like, I think, actually, no, it's like 1/120th. Yeah, it's like 300 to 400,000 per month. So it's substantially less. Robert Perry says, Snopes be like, did Tim Pool spill gumbo on his shirt on Friday? False. He did not. He did not on that day of the week. He built a Zeppelin, though. Aaron says, hey, Tim, you should get Manscaped to sponsor you. We all know you keep a shiny bald head under that beanie. Easiest sponsor ever. Oh, we'll see. Andrew, whoa, there we go. Andrew says, hey, Tim and Soy Jesus and Ghost Girl.
What up?
Hey.
To what deck and trucks do y'all recommend? I'm new to skating, and I have a cruiser deck, but want to get something a bit more fun.
Ooh, fun. Well, that's the thing with skating. There's all sorts of different boards out there. This is what I tell everyone. Go to a skate shop. I mean, when they open again, I guess, and stand on all the different boards they got. Like, let me try that one. Let me try that one. Let me try that one. And then find the one that's comfortable. That's really it. If you're on a cruiser, so you probably already have a certain kind of board, so try to go for something a little different and change it up because it is different types of skating.
Right on. Frank Fuller says, I was supposed to leave for Mexico for a year, but had to postpone due to COVID. Thank you for entertaining me. You got it.
Word.
Adam, thanks for the super chat. Dave Overton says, Tim Pool, the Beanie Baron, thank you for all you do. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Aaron says, Soy Jesus should make an OnlyFans account to support the channel.
Oh, gosh.
What's OnlyFans? I keep seeing that.
Something that, so like an account that OnlyFans can see, I guess?
Oh, okay. I thought it was like an
my
actual.
Sweet summer children.
Yeah.
OnlyFans is where all the girls are making their money these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now I get it.
Notice and you don't.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I love you guys.
All right. Clever Metaphor says, please put this money towards buying one more spinning object for the desk. Thank you very much. We'll figure it out.
Thanks, guys.
Robo, thanks for becoming a member. Zoot says, have you
Thank you.
taken a look into the Earn It Act? It aims to ban end-to-end encryption, it seems. Oh, yeah, we've heard people talk about it. Azazel the Fallen says, we need a Tim Pool China supercut. Well, you guys got to do it. Nicholas says, what commander do you play? Also, I saw some weird thing about Dean Koontz' book that predicted the whole pandemic. Not sure, but it seems like something you would like to look into. Yeah, it was similar, but it was because I think he mentioned Wuhan Biolab, because there is one.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, he did actually mention
Yeah.
it in passing.
But my current commander that I really enjoy is Tulane. He's newer and really fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a
those
bunch
who
of
know.
different decks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think my
I do
favorite
also.
interactions right now is Kaikar.
Yeah, Kaikar's
Yeah.
nasty.
So David Levitt, thanks for becoming a member. And
Thank
now
you.
on to the show. The next horrifying nightmare scenario segment.
Yeah.
Great.
A plague of rats. You see, it was, I think, last month. A video went viral showing a bunch of, what were they, like gibbons or something, or baboons?
Yeah, they were like medium-sized monkeys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some kind of monkey in Thailand.
Churiburi monkeys or
Churiburi
something?
monkeys?
Weird name. Yeah.
And they were fighting in the streets.
Brawling, yo.
Because normally the tourists throw food, but now that there's no food, wars have
hungry.
emerged, and monkey gangs started
Yep.
fighting each other.
Mm-hmm. Like hundreds.
Yeah,
Hundreds
like,
and hundreds.
like just running. It's nuts. And there's other videos too. I don't know if you've ever seen it of baboons. Like someone will throw a Snickers bar and then they'll just all stampede chasing after it.
Dang.
Yeah, it's creepy stuff. Now, I guess you can reason with the monkeys.
Yeah.
They know not to attack you or bother you because they know that you'll bring food, so they leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Rats, on the other hand, I don't think they're going to care. They're going to get ravenous and hungry. I mean, actually,
I agree.
You know, but hold on. I mean, I think a bunch of starving monkeys would be more terrifying than starving rats.
I also agree.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because what do you think's going to happen when, like,
Well, the monkeys are strong, man. Those monkeys could probably mess a person up and take their food. If they're like, if one person's just walking with a bag full of food and they're hungry and they smell it, it's like they can definitely take someone out.
Whoa,
there was
dude.
hundreds of them. I don't know if you guys have seen these videos, but it's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're like
But
starlings
hold on.
swirling.
and
Oh,
now
let's look at this.
look
Yeah.
at this.
Here.
So this is crazy though.
Rats have been taking to the streets in packs, sometimes in the daylight, emboldened by hunger.
Man,
Ooh.
they're out in the streets.
Roving bands.
Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And what happens when you get a bunch of starving rats and they're all diseased and they start running after you? Like,
Your food.
yep.
They can eat humans, right? They can eat anything.
I mean, if there's like 100 of them.
I would be afraid of 100 rats coming at me.
All right, let's see what they say. The Hill reports, as the country begins to buckle down for what experts are warning may be our hardest week of the coronavirus-related deaths yet, one begins to wonder, where does all of our social isolating leave the urban-dwelling animals who depend on our food garbage for sustenance?
Oh, boy.
Secondarily, and perhaps even more worrying, where will those survivalists turn to when their need for food becomes dire? I do have to pause and mention pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeons are a gift to mankind. You know why?
Why is that?
Well, first, pigeons are garbage incarnate,
Okay.
and so are rats, but pigeons are funnier because they fly. You have a cheeseburger in New York City. Not you, but a person. And they take a bunch of bites and they throw it on the ground, the garbage, and then little bits of food flop on the ground. A pigeon comes and then eats your garbage. The garbage is broken down in the pigeon's body and becomes an egg. Another pigeon eats garbage and it breaks down to become,
And that's
bird fertilizer.
why they're the gift to humans?
No, I'm
I'm
not
still
done.
waiting for
Wait,
it.
Right.
wait, we're working
So
on it.
Please.
first, pigeons are literally made of refuse. It is a biological function that converts the garbage you throw on the ground into a bird
Okay.
because they eat the garbage and turn into a bird.
Okay.
Where would all of that garbage go if there weren't pigeons?
The rats would eat it.
No. I'm saying, so in like I remember thinking this, 10, 15 years ago, I was in Chicago and there was a gigantic pile of French fries. I mean, like an insanely huge pile.
Okay.
Apparently a restaurant just dumped out a huge thing of French fries that for some reason.
Okay.
And there was like 200-300 pigeons just tearing at it.
I heard it was someone with coronavirus coughed on it.
This is 15 years ago.
I'm just
And I'm like,
I'm just making a
what,
joke.
what would we do with these French fries if not for these pigeons?
Mm-hmm.
The pigeons cleaned up shop, man.
Yep.
It was gone. It was like an hour, and I was like, whoa. The pigeons are our garbage come to life, cleaning up the garbage and then leaving. Now, they poop a lot. I get it. But the poop is isolated at certain locations typically. And a lot of it's washed away. So the garbage literally gets turned into birds and then leaves.
Well, the biodegradable garbage.
Yeah, of course.
What about all the rest of
You
it?
just have to pick it up.
No,
and throw it away.
well, yeah.
Looking at you, humans.
Yeah, come on.
And myself.
I'm just talking about the food stuff.
'Cause I do it
Could
too.
you imagine if there were no pigeons? There would be just like garbage and like food garbage all over the floor. Like all over the ground everywhere. You'd be like, oh, these,
I was peeling an orange once. I was like walking through a park and I was like peeling the orange and like tossing the orange off to the side because I don't know, it feels like I'm not throwing trash on the ground when it's an orange peel, And this woman stopped me. She was like, excuse me. There's a trash can right over there. And she like pointed at a trash can that was, I could see it over there, but I don't know. It had me thinking like, man, am I littering? What do you think?
With
Like
fruit
an
peel?
orange
Fruit
peel.
peel?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe though.
Really?
Imagine if like out in the country or maybe in the suburbs, I don't think it's a big deal.
It was Central Park.
The problem
Out
is
in the grass.
the problem is the people, there's like millions who pass through Central Park every day.
That's true.
And if everybody was doing it, it would get really bad.
Yeah.
Like animals couldn't pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So, well, let's get back to the rats.
Okay.
Because check this out. They're apparently on alert in New York. Here's a quote. They say that we spoke with Robert Corrigan, a rodentologist who specializes in urban rats and works with cities around the world to design programs for rodent management. To find out, most New Yorkers have probably never heard of this type of job before. But it's his decision that affects their lives daily as he meets with agencies such as the MTA to help them mitigate the rat issue on the subway. It's no small feat either, especially in cities such as New York, whose rat population has been estimated to reach around 2 million.
I mean, I would say every time I ever went in the subway, I saw a rat.
Oh, totally.
Every single time I would see one.
Yep, they do their thing.
Yep.
Quote, this is actually the first virus outbreak where we've had to be on alert about rats. And obviously the reason is that everybody is shut down. The rats, especially in cities like New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C., are heavily dependent on us for their food. There's no secret here that rats, for the most part, get their food directly from us. It's all our garbage. In general, rats like to stay close to their burrows, which are often at ground level in apartment floorboards, alleyways, sidewalks, or basements. They're also nocturnal animals and survive by mastering their surroundings, trying to stick to familiar areas within a few hundred feet of their home. Corrigan tells Changing America that when rats come out looking for restaurant garbage and scraps on the subway and there's none to be found for several days in a row, they switch into survival mode. The result, he says, is that they will begin to show up during the day as well as the night and in different areas than you'd normally find them due to stress. The long-term impacts of a food shortage on urban rat populations can result in 3 possibilities, and each one is independent of the other. Because of this, there's no generalization as to what the rats in New York City are going to do. It's block by block, and it's actually colony by colony. If this keeps going on, and the rats do not find dependable everyday sources of food, they will begin to implode on each other. They'll go into high stress mode, and they may begin fighting to the death. And then they will begin to cannibalize each other for their protein.
Jeez.
The rodentologist says that he's already seen several cases while walking around the park.
Oh, no.
Rats that have been completely eviscerated and consumed by the others. Oh,
Jeez.
man.
Wow.
And that's what I was saying. What do you
Goodness.
think people will do
Yeah.
when the same thing happens? Once the survivors realize there's no more food to be found in that area, they may also begin to disperse, traveling quite a distance of multiple miles within the matter of a couple days in their hurried search for sustenance. They'll try to find another spot where they can get some kind of food, and if they don't find that, they're going to simply die. But the third possibility is that they will start following their noses.
This is where I was thinking.
Cities like New Orleans, with its popular French Quarter typically swarmed with tourists, are now seeing swarms of another kind. Emboldened by hunger, the city's rats have been taking to the now deserted streets in large packs in search of a bite to eat. Is this a video?
Oh, there's a video.
They got a video of this. That looks like, whoa, yeah, a bunch of rats. Oh man, they're forming rat gangs.
Yep, rat gangs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, all I see is like they're gonna find ways into people's places, apartments.
Yep.
You know,
They're gonna find food.
New York buildings are not all new. A lot of New York buildings are not in good shape compared to like the brand new stuff that's going out. Like they're gonna follow the nose and they're gonna find their way in.
Well, he says, for now, take a look at how tight the infrastructure of your home is, whether that might be a single-family house or large apartment building, and how smart you're being about food waste. For apartment dwellers, he urges to not only check the premises yourself, but also check with your landlord to inquire about the structure of the space, especially if the building is located next to an alleyway or by a sewer. He says the most vulnerable spots in your home are doors that may be eroding or don't fit snugly into their frame, allowing the space below for rats to gnaw holes, which will allow them to enter your space. He says that they will go through any opening where they can get to the food they're smelling, and then they will simply try to create an infestation in somebody's home. Dude, it's going to happen. There's going to be a story. Rats are going to break into somebody's house.
Yep.
They're going to freak out and flee.
And take over their house.
Yep. He says, I encourage everyone to look around. Check if there are any kind of stray trash cans, dumpster bags, or anything that's going to attract rats and eliminate them. The next thing is very important. Rats are very smart and capable animals. And when they get desperate, I tell people to check their doors. You want to make sure your doors are fitting all the way to the threshold and there's no gap where they're going to allow a rodent in the house. One of the scariest possibilities to consider when it comes to rats invading your building may not be what comes to mind. Them cutting off your access to television. Rats gnaw on cables, and in fact, it's been estimated that a whopping 26% of electrical cable breaks and 25% of fires of unknown origin in New York City are caused by rats.
That makes sense.
It's just one of the reasons why you want to be as smart as possible when it comes to keeping the rodents out of your home. Along with the fact they're pretty darn hard to kill, they reproduce at a tremendous rate, mating up to 20 times in 6 hours and producing 4 to 7 litters of 10 rats each year.
Oh my gosh.
Beyond that, they're neophobic, meaning that those traps you set and that poison you laid out probably won't work very well. Corgan says that if you do happen to catch a glimpse of a rat in your home, especially if there are children present, it is certainly no DIY job. Call your local exterminator as soon as you can. We are all going to get through this, and hopefully over time, who knows, maybe they'll teach us a lesson to better dispose of our trash and keep our buildings tighter. You know what I see from this?
What?
We're not going back to normal.
No
Not at all.
way. Thank goodness, though.
Right, for this, for sure.
Well, there's a lot that needs to be, our over consumption is crazy.
Well, no, I think that'll come back for sure.
I hope not, though.
I think people are going to be... You get a couple stories about rats raiding somebody's house, and they're going to take their trash and recycling much more seriously.
Okay.
And that's a good thing, right? Not rats in people's homes, but, people cleaning up and doing a better job. People aren't going to shake hands anymore.
Yep.
I think that's good.
Well, I guess, maybe we'll bow or something.
We'll come
Or
up with something
live
better.
long and prosper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Just do the
Let's just take
Spock
it.
thing.
Yeah, why not? Everyone knows what it means.
Now, they're talking about rats. What about pigeons? Like, we joked about pigeons, but...
that you said it, though. They can fly. And
Yeah.
so they can fly to eat bugs in fields, fly. They probably will migrate away from cities
Yeah.
and then migrate back when the whole machine gets kicked up again.
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, what about all of the animals? sparrows, cats? Maybe the answer to the problem is to unleash all of the shelter cats into New York City.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard
kidding.
I heard from somewhere that all the shelters were empty for
Oh,
the
that's
first
right.
time in
Yeah.
like 30
We were
years or
reading that.
something
That's
in New
really
York.
Because everyone's adopting the cats.
It's like, wow. And dogs.
That's kind of cool.
The joke
I
from
don't
The
know if it
Simpsons...
was for cats. I know it was a dog shelter that I was reading it about.
Yeah.
The
So-
joke from The Simpsons was that they had the pigeon-eating lizards. So they're like, we'll release snakes, then we'll release weasels, then we'll release dogs, then we'll release gorillas.
Yeah.
And they're like, but then, they were like, how do you get rid of the gorillas? And Skinner's like, I don't know what said. I think it was Skinner. He's like, that's the best part. When winter comes, they simply freeze to death. It's like, they keep bringing in more
Yeah.
animals to get rid of the old ones.
Well, yeah, that's a bad idea.
It's kind of crazy that humans have brought with them everywhere they go these animals.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you couldn't get rid of the rats before they got in your boat, and you brought them on the boat.
Dude, they intentionally brought rabbits to Australia. They had no natural predators there. I
Really?
think. Yeah.
And the rabbits just went nuts.
Yeah, they went crazy.
I don't know about that. Australia's like
They had
like
to build a rabbit
the
fence.
last level of Earth.
I know,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true.
Like the highest difficulty setting for
You'd
the
think
planet.
there would be tons of predators, but rabbit fence.
Weird
man.
ones.
Super
What
weird.
didn't someone like bring like frogs there or something?
All sorts of
Didn't that
transfer
happen
like
to
that.
some island down in the South Pacific? There was like
think
a
so.
snake that ate every little thing. So then
no.
now spiders have nothing that eats them. So now spiders are like taking over the trees.
Whoa.
So there's places
Oh
that
yeah,
like,
the webs are all crazy.
The webs are so massive because there's just the snakes and the spiders,
Oh,
and that's
no.
it.
That sounds like
The
hell.
spiders eat all the little insects. The snakes eat all the like rodents and rabbits and everything.
I imagine that
Nuts.
there's like
Yep.
there's an elephant somewhere talking to his elephant friends, and he's like, "Have you seen these places where humans are out of control? It's like they take the rocks and stack them up. It's crazy. There's rocks everywhere."
Right.
It's like we're talking about the webs of spiders because they grow out of control.
Yep.
You know what, man? I would not want to be in a city right now because
Me neither.
we live in the suburbs and there's no just like street refuse. So sure, we have turkey problems. Like we
We
have
saw two yesterday.
We have turkeys.
Whoa.
Rafters.
Problem is a loose term. We saw some wild turkeys yesterday.
So we
it was cool.
only saw 2 yesterday though. So if we get like 50,
No, but one day there was like 16 or 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like last month.
Is that a
rafter.
gaggle?
Rafter.
it's a rafter.
A rafter.
Oh,
of
is that what it
turkeys.
is? A
Yeah,
rafter?
A rafter.
I
That's
remember we
cool.
looked it up.
And they're like, but like,
Rafter.
it's like there's like a truce here. You know, like everyone's in agreement. You leave the turkeys alone. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, don't mess with the turkeys.
But
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, man. When the apocalypse comes, those
That's
turkeys are going to
food.
be food.
Yeah,
those
man.
turkeys are gone.
They're not rats. They're birds.
Yep.
Or
And
you know, what,
I'm
honestly
leaving
though,
my vegan at the door too.
no, just do they lay eggs?
Survive. Yeah, they
Like
do.
chickens?
They
You just-
do. Yeah.
You just catch them.
Keep them.
You put them in a pen, and
Yeah.
then you go. You get fresh eggs. I think it's really dumb. They don't allow you to have livestock in like, certain areas. So like we can't have chickens here. I want some fresh eggs. You know, I'm seeing on Twitter. People are making fresh bread.
I just walked down the street. There's goats.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
There's goats
right around
like
the corner.
4
There's, like,
blocks from here.
goats
We got
from
room for
alpaca.
goats.
I just saw goats.
We could get goats.
I don't want goats.
You know? Oh, that's right. They
Oh
scream.
my gosh,
They
they're loud.
scream
Yeah.
really loud.
Yeah, we used
They're
to live
loud.
next to some
It's
goats,
true.
and they would yell every
It
morning.
wasn't some. It was like a straight up farm that we lived next to.
Did they smell
And they were
too?
loud. No, they didn't smell so much, but loud.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm not
Maybe-
not about to try to
No,
do
no.
a goat
Wait,
impression.
hold on. Maybe we're missing something here.
What are we
maybe,
missing?
Maybe we can harness the rat power.
Eat
Go
them?
on.
Well, I mean, the rats are energy of some sort.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
they move around.
Diseased energy.
Well, no, well, yeah, I know, but like, you know, can we put them on little treadmills or like?
Yeah.
What are they going
I
to
just,
eat though?
I just watched
You
the
gonna feed
video.
them all?
I just watched a video about eating crickets,
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
and like they make cricket flour.
Right.
They grow sustainable crickets. They feed them healthy things, and they mill them into a fine powder. And apparently, it tastes like
Sounds
nuts.
terrible.
It tastes like a nut flour, right?
It does
You imagine
sound
being
terrible.
milled into a flour.
That sounds awful.
I'll grind your bones
yeah,
to
it
make my
sounds
bread.
not nice.
the Soylent Green.
yeah, the
But, you know,
cricket
I mean, everybody in the world eats bugs.
green. 80%.
So
yeah.
I actually tried to buy some, and it's Amazon sold
Yeah,
out.
what the
Yeah,
heck?
it was weird. It's like unavailable, and I wonder if like survivalists
Random.
bought all the cricket flour. I'm like, regular flour still exists, guys,
yeah.
but it's high in protein. It's got like I think like triple the protein of regular
Yeah.
flour.
Dang.
Super high.
Yeah, and you can use it for baking and everything. Yeah, it's weird. I went to Amazon, and it was gone. So you know, I don't know.
Sad.
But what the point is,
Keep looking.
I mean, we're not big bug eaters, but apparently you can mill crickets into flour.
Who knew?
We got all these rats running around. If we do nothing, they're going to invade people's homes.
What should we do?
I mean, do you just exterminate them and then just what do you do with the
Well,
bodies?
Waste.
Why don't you cook them up?
Like a little stew?
Soylent rat.
Soylent rat?
Soylent rat.
Yeah. What?
I mean, if you cooked a rat, would it get rid of the diseases and the parasites?
I
Yeah,
don't
wouldn't
know.
it?
Probably not the Well, pork
Yeah.
has parasites in it.
Yeah,
and
you just
they
boil
just
them, right?
advise you to cook it for a really long
Gross.
time. Right?
Here's the funny thing.
yeah.
Here's the funny thing. I have no problem eating bugs.
Right.
I wouldn't eat a rat. Like a New
Yeah,
York
that
rat, I wouldn't
seems
eat
a
it.
little...
What would you eat? Like a farm raised free range rat?
Yeah, I
why
guess.
not?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's fair. I wouldn't eat a cricket off the ground in New York. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If like someone grew farm crickets and then like chocolate covered or like roasted or something.
Okay.
You know, that's like a normal thing. You don't want to eat dirty things. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem with New York
But
rats.
I think the problem with rodents is that they don't have enough fat in them. And so it's actually you know what rabbit starvation
Too
is?
gamey?
You know what rabbit starvation is?
No.
So like in Venezuela, I think it was Venezuela, they said just start eating your pets or eating your rabbits.
Okay.
Can't
But
do that.
but rats are too lean. I'm sorry,
Rabbits.
rabbits are too lean. So if you only eat rabbits, you don't get enough fat in your diet, and like you can actually starve to death because it's just you can't do it.
Yeah, so too much protein will mess with your kidneys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
Yeah, everyone's talking. Someone brought up the hantavirus, which is literally
Oh, yeah.
from
Oh,
yeah,
getting
yeah.
it from rats.
yeah, don't eat rats, everybody.
Yeah, no,
It's not a good
Well,
thing.
we have a virus that was caused by a bat, so I don't think
Yeah.
we should probably be eating any rats.
No, but I do think Americans, for the most part, have a bias towards what they eat.
Definitely they do.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Like we were talking about this before, like Fear Factor.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch Fear Factor, and they're like, "You have to eat the intestines of a pig," and I'd be like,
All right.
"So food."
I'd be out.
So food. You want me to eat food? I'll eat the food. I got no problem eating it.
yeah.
You know, but then like,
Well, and the whole thing is like eating animals in general. I guess we're kind of bring it into that subject, but it's like as a society, we are okay with eating certain animals, and in others, we're totally not.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so in some places, cows are
Sacred.
You don't eat
Yeah,
cows.
absolutely.
Like you eat cows, you're disgusting. But we're like, oh well, it's a cow. Like whatever, it's a burger.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But then when someone, same with dogs and cats, they're animals.
yep.
But
And some
people,
eat 'em.
some countries eat them,
And they view it no different, like eating a chicken.
And no, and then the people freak out, and it's like, don't you eat
Just
meat?
cultural difference.
Right.
Yeah.
You eat meat, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
why are you freaking out? Because they eat what you consider a pet. It is a weird
it's
weird
true.
situation.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of eating dogs because I think dogs are man's best friend.
Okay.
But what am I going to impose my will upon an entire nation? I disagree with it.
Well, the Tiger King, his best friend was a cat.
I don't think we should eat
Yeah, man.
tigers either.
Well, no.
I think, and to that extent, you know, it's true. It's a cultural thing. Like I think of like deer.
It's a cultural
and
thing.
things you hunt, things
Exactly.
that are available to us, were
Right.
acceptable. But you know what? The bigger issue is, America in general has just drifted towards like a primarily meat-based diet. Like
And dairy.
right. So we disagree, you know, to a certain degree on like, you know, on dietary stuff. I don't think from a libertarian point of view. I think from a personal health choice point of view.
Yeah.
But I think we both agree that Americans overconsume.
Absolutely.
You think more so than I do. I think, you know, a portion of your diet should be meat, and it should mostly be like leafy greens and fresh vegetables.
Whoa. I think that everybody needs to do research on what their own body
That's
needs.
a better point. Yep.
That's what I always say. I am vegan for myself. I'm not vegan for you. Okay? I'm doing it for me. I
Right.
feel better. I live in a world that I can do this very easily. I don't have to eat meat.
Yeah,
So
you're
I'm not eating.
Exactly.
The bigger issue is,
But do your own research and eat whatever you feel healthy eating. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. If you want to go hunt some food, more power to you.
we just watched we were watching an old episode of Penn and Teller's BS.
Yeah.
Can't even say the
Yes.
name of a TV
Yes,
show on,
that.
on YouTube.
Right.
And it was one guy who was like, he was morbidly obese, and he was getting sleeping pills because he didn't understand why he couldn't sleep.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you don't need sleeping pills. You need to, like, Americans go to the store and they're like, what should I eat today? I know, a double cheeseburger with bacon and a large fry.
And also a super large sugar soda.
Yeah, sugar
Yeah,
water.
man.
Right.
It's like, but you know what's interesting is millennials have stopped drinking soda.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're drinking mostly water now.
Sparkling water.
I
Soda companies
see
are not
that.
happy.
It's true.
Yeah.
I haven't had a soda in a long time. I
I
mean,
really like that.
there was someone had a rum and Coke here earlier, so there was some Coke in the house, and I was like, "Oh, I'll have a
Yep.
Coke."
Now
And I
I've
was
been
like,
drinking
"This
them.
is so sweet."
I know,
it's
That's all I
like
can
syrup.
think of. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, "Man." So I had to go drink some water.
Yeah, man.
Well, we certainly
To loosen it
deviated
up.
from the rat
A
apocalypse
little bit,
into
yep.
fresh diets, but we'll stop it there.
Yeah.
We'll grab the
'Cause
last.
that's the next subject, isn't it?
Well, no, we're going to
Oh.
super chats and then
Oh, wow.
Bruh. We'll
Yeah.
save it
That
for tomorrow.
Fast 2
we'll
hours.
save it. We'll save
Yeah,
it for
dude.
tomorrow.
Man, I love hanging out with you
I
guys.
know, right?
This is
Well,
great.
we're gonna read the next few super chats, so make sure you follow us. Our names are up there above our heads at
There I am.
Timcast, at Adam Krigler. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and other than that, we'll read some more super chats. We'll see what you guys today. We got a few more minutes here. Let's try and figure out where we are. Let's see. It's always a difficult time trying to figure out where the super chats left us off.
I'm just going to take this time to read some comments.
Yeah, do
Oh,
it to it.
gosh.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what-
No, I'm not going to actually read them out loud.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, I found it.
The
These are
comments.
great. I
You
love
guys
them.
are crazy in the
I
comments.
love the comment section.
Oh,
All right, here
man.
we go. Robert Perry says, "Am I here?" You in fact are.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
You
I
made
don't.
it
you
here.
are.
I can't read this name, but they say, "Hey Tim, Utah's mountains still have a pinch of snow. Come see them. They're beautiful.
Oh,
I love
yeah,
them."
man.
Steven says, "Sell me a beanie with your catchphrase. Spare me." You see, there's always a new one.
Is that a
Spare me?
catchphrase?
I say it sometimes, but I
Okay.
think you know what I think the issue is.
It comes and goes.
No, it's that I cover a few different subjects within a similar realm.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone's really into, say, like cultural critique, they're going to watch my cultural critique videos. And so I'll probably say similar things.
Yeah.
People are into politics, they're going to hear, different things.
True.
Scott Young says, "Here's a super chat just for the sweet summer child quip. It got a real laugh out of me." Yep, that went right over our heads.
I'm so glad. You guys are the best.
Foul Lane says, just sat. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. Jen Parsons, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you
for joining. Paxton Fairbanks says, starving rats are scarier because they're a smaller target to hit.
Mm-hmm.
We also have historical accounts of rats swarming animals and people like piranhas and stripping them down to the bone. In fact, it was used as a torture method.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I would be afraid if I saw
Yeah.
hundreds of rats coming at me
It
Yeah.
was
with
torture.
like red in their eyes, like hungry rats.
Ravenous.
Who wouldn't be afraid? I would
Yeah.
be like, I'm going that way.
Yeah, I'm out.
Bye, rats.
Justin O'Toole says, in the UK, people now get fined for sitting alone on public benches. Video on cheeky FE Carey channel. Wow.
That's so silly.
Chad Hurst says that Nathan Rich Guy has a smaller YouTube following, but is PewDiePie sized on Chinese channels.
Interesting.
He's the antagonist to Serpentsaw and Lawai, uses opinion pieces as evidence, misleading everyone. I don't know why he cares about me. I've made like 5 videos about
you
China.
should feel special.
He's got an issue with my complaining about Democrats, I guess. Type O Negative says, so do you think this is all a diversion and a prelude to war? I don't know if it's a diversion, but I think we're definitely dancing too close to war and it's getting scary.
Yep, it's true.
For sure.
Yeah, that episode last Friday got in my head over the weekend.
Yeah, we did a segment. Check it out on this channel in the video section. What was it? Was it Friday? Episode 40?
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the prospects of World War III.
Yep, lots of things going on in
Lots
the world
of-
that
yeah,
are
yeah,
not COVID related.
Iran, China, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. The Unrefined says, "Forgive me, Tim, because I hit a pigeon when it flew in front of my truck.
Oh,
I will forgive you."
no.
Jason says, in Australia, gangs of kangaroos are fighting people. Is that real?
Oh my gosh.
No way.
I
That's
gotta look it up.
crazy.
Interesting.
I saw a video of a kangaroo like wandering into a party and people were laughing like they didn't care. But,
Dude,
you know,
they're dangerous. They can knock you out.
Those
yeah,
things
bro,
are
they're
so
huge
strong.
and they're
really,
ripped. Do you ever see them?
Really
Super
hurt you.
ripped.
I wouldn't mess with a kangaroo.
Let's see. Duck says all these rats. Somebody play black branding deck. MI, thanks for the super chat.
Thank you.
Theo Fander says, have you heard of the YouTube channel called China Uncensored? They just did a joint cast with ADV China, and in the comments, viewers said that want to see your show do the same. Would you? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're locked down, so I don't know if we're doing any collabs or anything. Natural Advice says, is the food supply chain breakdown coming? I don't know.
I think so.
You think so?
I hope
Yeah.
not. No, I don't know. I think certain items, yes, but as a whole, no.
I think it's time to start eating crickets.
Like I saw videos of dairy farmers, because certain production lines are cut off, they have to keep milking or else their cows will stop producing milk. So they are just dumping milk every
that
single
sucks.
day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's going to happen across certain things. You know, not all food products will stop, but a lot will probably stop.
Did you know that crickets are crustaceans?
No.
I learned that today.
Yeah, I learned that today when I was reading about the cricket flower.
Yeah.
It said that they're more similar to like a lobster or a crab than, like a spider
That's
or
why
something.
they're so crunchy.
Yeah. Joe Black says the Rat King has returned. Mad Todd, thanks for joining, becoming a member.
Thank you.
Wolfenbach says, the Skaven are coming. Praise be our new vermin overlords and their god, the great hornet rat. Seriously, take care of everyone, New York. Yeah. Chuck Moore says, rats with woo flu. Game over, man. Nuke it. Yup, from orbit.
Yeah.
James says, suddenly the crazy cat lady is just someone who understands urban threat management. Yeah. Throw the cats. Rah! Drunk Shovel says, Rat Mad Max, what even is this timeline?
Right.
Henry Baumeister, the Skaven are coming. Matt Todd says, hey, Tim, thank you for keeping me and my wife against her will up to date with the goings on of the world. Keep on keeping on. Will do. Stephen Askew says, Tim is thinking of cane toads. Oh, is that the Australia thing, I think?
Maybe, yeah.
David says, you say turkey problem, I say Thanksgiving boogaloo.
Yeah.
Well, I meant problem is a joke because I actually like seeing the turkeys mill about,
They're
do their
cute,
turkey
yeah.
business.
They're pretty cool looking,
Yeah.
yeah.
Doing that thing.
John McGuire says, before you get livestock, shovel manure in July, then decide. In the meantime, stick to taters. Well, what about chickens? The only issue we had with the chickens last time was that they destroyed the grass.
They do, yeah.
They tear the grass up and
They
they
really
eat it.
do.
I didn't know they ate grass, and we learned that.
They're omnivorous, apparently.
Michael Gale says, I used just one bite from one. I used just one bite one time for rats eating my catfish food. A week later, the smell was horrible in my shed. 2 weeks later, found dead snake. Whoa.
Ooh.
Political Pothead says, Staten Island has wild turkeys. We have deer too. Oh, cool. Joe Black says, Timcast for President 2020. Way too early. I am not old enough. Captain Sugar says, LOL, Tim is going to create the rat matrix.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Okay, where we go? We just jumped in the super chat because there we are. A Fuzzy Creature says, I keep the theory that we test mice and rats so much we should build the perfect rat soldier. It's a pet theory I like keeping around. Squeak.
All I can think of is Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The perfect rat soldier.
Scarlock says, Tim, the last time someone introduced strange new food items to a population, we got the coronavirus. Let's just not introduce exotic new foods into the population for the hell of it, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Jacob Estrada says, I was a missionary in Chiapas. We ate everything. A delicacy down there was possum. We also ate giant ants, crickets, and other crazy stuff. Waste not, want not.
I mean,
Adam,
yeah.
Dogs are our oldest ally. They are.
True. Yeah.
Courtney says, hey, Tim, love you and your crew's show. Been watching you for a while. There's a company called Exoprotein that uses it in protein bars, and I got some of the whole roasted crickets. They are tasty. I heard they're like nutty. They taste
Hold on,
nutty.
let me just respond to that dog comment.
Yeah.
I don't condone anyone eating meat at all. I'm a vegan.
Yeah, man.
We don't need it, or at least I believe it. So it's like, I'm not trying to pressure anyone, but like, I don't want anyone to eat any animal. So,
Yeah.
especially dogs. I love dogs. Dogs are great.
I mean,
Just-
cows are great.
It's interesting
Have you ever-
that person chose dogs and not cats, because I said dogs and cats.
Well, cats are evil. You
Are
know,
they?
I'm kidding.
They are.
We have a cat. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's an awesome cat.
Here we go. Doug Andrews says seagulls are the pigeons of the Midwest. Yeah, I mean, we got pigeons in the Midwest, but yeah, seagulls are, you know.
Yeah.
Joseph Metzler says roadkill is way down. Animals are starting to move into cities at night. Rodents are becoming an issue for the electrical grid. Getting calls because of the urine damage. My experience as a hazmat worker. Whoa.
Yeah, that's true.
Jason Solo.
Could be a
I'm
problem.
sorry, Jason. You've been retconned. I don't believe you exist anymore.
Oh.
Tim, they boil and skin the dogs alive in China. Many of them kidnapped pets. They do this because they believe the more the dog suffers, the better it will taste. They killed 10,000 dogs during Yulin. Yikes.
It's true. It's
I've
messed
seen the
up.
horrible
It's
videos,
so
man.
messed up what they do.
Well, that makes me mad.
J-Max says, Shapiro often points out that as time progresses, alternative food sources will make people of the future view us in the past as morally inferior for consuming animals. I've had my own reservations about meat consumption and try to, in the very least, ensure it's humane. I completely agree.
I have heard him say that. Very smart
Yeah.
take.
Elfo says, did you see the story of an infant in Connecticut allegedly smothered by their caretaker being declared as a COVID death? I did not.
No.
Hell says, it's rather impressive that soda managed to position itself as a regular drink instead of a dessert. Yeah, for real, with all the sugar
Good
in it.
point. Yeah.
Charles says, rat is greasy and tastes like duck. Oh, really? Well, now you know.
Gamey. That's what
All
I
right, where
figured.
we go. Daniel says, you should play Innocence, A Plague's Tale. I'll check it out. Jack says, I've created a tight-fitting paper mask using common printer paper, video on channel. Considering there is national shortage of masks, using paper can be beneficial due to its abundance. Right on.
Does it filter though?
Well, it's minimal masks, so it's just for keeping
spray.
So right. So it
okay.
slightly reduces. It's not as effective as an N95 or with like a full setup.
Yeah.
Dale Mountain says, I'd pay for a course on doing local journalism. I've been thinking about setting something up, but, work. Angry Bellsprout says, you have mentioned war with China in recent videos, but continue to ignore China's military allies. Need to look into Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We did. We talked about it, but not as informed as we probably could have been. Let's see. Mokomo. Oh, no, it says Moko Mothman. People in the state of Iowa are divided whether we should shut down. Iowa alone is 1/11 of our food production, is home to 31 of 100 food manufacturing facilities. Shutting down would be a bad idea. Whoa, yikes. Prison Wallet Thief says, hey, Tim, the reason we can't stand by while Nathan Rich uses China's fake numbers calling you a conspiracy theorist, impugning your honor, since you are the only journalist that tells the truth. Yeah, well, I'm going to mind my business, and, people rag on me all the time. I don't know what else I can do about it. You guys can refute them. C&D says, thank you for everything you do. Dale Mountain says, interested in local journalism. No idea how to. Any advice? A how-to course might be a product in demand, thinking about just calling local PDs. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm the best for local journalism advice. I went around filming documentary stuff. Thanks for coming a member.
Thank you.
Suwasili Tour.
Yep.
Matthew Hammond says, cats are not good for killing rats. Use dogs and mink. Yeah, rat terriers. Cats
Yes.
play with them and let them live sometimes. People don't understand that. Cats, that's not what cats do.
Yeah, rat
what
terriers are.
Yeah,
and they're
go-
faster.
Dude, they go
Red
at
Dwarf.
them.
Annihilate.
I've
Yeah.
seen some
Yep.
videos. They're crazy.
And they're happy. They're all happy when
They're like, look what I did.
Yep.
Covered in blood.
Mean Sarton says, of course, MeToo was a scam. You never see a picture of the lady who started it. Alyssa Milano started the hashtag. Chad Hurst says, also, report in China came out today 17% of cats in Wuhan tested positive for COVID antibodies. Check it out. I will. Durfo says, sometimes I don't like you. You don't have to, and you're allowed to actually hate me. I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
And me.
Yes. Sean El Bucho Loco says, cows are despicable liars who deserve to be eaten. Why do you
Ooh.
think we call lies BS? Ah, that's a good point. I'm going to leave you with one final thought.
Please do.
Humans, the apex predator of the planet. We've dominated the earth.
We are
We've
the
traveled
apex.
to the moon. We control land, sea, air. We are the cream of the crop, the best of the best. But you know who's number 2 on earth? Cows. You know why?
I would have said ants.
Cow.
Would have been my guess.
See, here's the thing. The one way to ensure your survival is either to be the best, or you definitely don't want to be competition for the best. Be the main food source for the best.
Yep.
And then you will never cease. Your species will always survive.
Makes sense.
Cows have done that. Congratulations. I'm joking, by the way, but we're gonna wrap up there. Make sure to follow us, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, share the videos if you like them.
Yeah, there we
We
go.
should, we probably should shout out the sharing more because, as I mentioned, we just did a whole segment on YouTube purging everybody. So,
True.
yeah, for all you know, in 6 months we won't exist anymore, and you'll get to
Yeah.
listen to Rachel Maddow, and I'm sure
Oh,
most of you will
no.
enjoy that.
So
That'd be
please
nice.
share.
Please,
Let
please
everyone
share.
know that we exist here.
Save
Even
us.
Tucker Carlson is not long for this world. They went after his advertisers. He lost 24 advertisers in like a week because they were lying and smearing him.
Dude.
Who was?
Like activists just started making stuff up, and the advertisers got scared because of the controversy and bowed out.
Wow.
Yep. And Tucker was one of the first people to call out COVID.
It's true.
Well, we'll be left blind, deaf and dumb. But I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. and adios.
Have
Bye.
a good night.